A League Pro paid me $100,000 to build his PC. I only made $90,000 off him. 9 models spent $500,000 for me to customize their bikes. I made $480,000. Even Lay from the Big 8 heard of me. Wanted to spend $10 million for me to build a car. I took $9.8 million. Then the Dragon Nation military found me. They offered $200 million for a tank. I thought, there's no way I'd dare scam their money, right? I hesitated a bit. Still made $180 million. Kid, you even dare take Dragon Nation's money? After I tested the tank's power. Xiaofei, I got a $600 million project for you. Take care of it when you have time. I just laughed and said I'd earn a tiny bit. You won't mind, right? After all, earning from clients gets me points. And points are the only way to upgrade my crafting system. When I first got the system, I was so bored my limbs felt useless. I wandered into a live stream for fun. Right then, former pro Zisher was ranting. If my crappy computer hadn't lagged just now, I could have soloed Bayun. Zisher wanted a comeback. But with the chat cheering him on, he ended up losing 3 more games. Zisher totally lost it. Viewers just made it more chaotic. Told you, man. The kid's got 0 skills. That's when a viewer named Frog spoke up. Zisher, ignore these trolls. I believe you really lagged. If you need a new PC, hit me up. I'll give you a 20% discount. Haha, yeah, get your PC from Frog. $30,000 and I only make $28,000. Then one of the mods came at me. Kick Frog out of the stream now. This time, I'm hiring a real tech expert for my PC. I'll show you what skill really means. Saying that, Zisher started searching the stream lobby. In a flash, he saw it. Super God Workshop. Satisfy all your wildest dreams. That's it. I want to go God mode. He filled out the order form. I want a computer for LOL. One that feels as fast as my hands. So I can punch Bayun and kick Li Yuanhao. I've got lawyers. So if you can't deliver, don't accept my order. Seeing Zisher's notes. Everyone in the chat lost it. Bro, are you writing a novel? Sync with the machine? Why not say one hit breaks the heavens too? The kid doesn't want a PC. That's a magic weapon. Who dare take this order? Wait, the owner actually did. And accepted it instantly. Man, is this guy nuts? Taking on such a crazy request? Look what the kid wrote. Price, $100,000. He's gonna get sued for fraud. That's enough to go to jail. Alright, this shop's doomed. No more business for him. I'm bored out of my mind. But after reading Zisher's requests, honestly, I felt very calm. Even though my system's at phase 1, it only has civilian tech skills. But I can still build computers. When Zisher read my reply, he totally froze up. The chat went wild. Physical exam? Why does the owner want a health report? Who needs a checkup for a computer build? Zisher gave the chat a disdainful look. You guys really don't get it. This is what I call professional. I sent his test data to the system, and quickly got a feedback. Turns out, a suitable frame rate for Zisher is around 218. CPU latency 0.00058 milliseconds. So basically, his hand inputs reach his game character at 0.0009 speed. It's a little tough for him. But not that hard. System, start up. Super Lab. Received host command. Lab is starting up. I glanced over to the corner. Saw that scrapped old PC. Price tag was $126. Got a $100,000 order. Pure profit. That's 99k net. Activate system. 80,000 points for phase 2, done. Super Lab is now open. Time inside the lab is 5:1 right now. 5 days in the lab equals 1 real day. You got 2 options. First, enter the Super Lab fully. You don't age inside. Second, only your mind enters. Body outside will still age. System upgrades later. And the time ratio goes to 100:1. That means, a year in the lab isn't even 4 days in reality. I excitedly turned off the power, grabbed my busted PC, and entered the Super Lab. Inside the lab, I never need food or sleep. My mind always stays sharp. After 3 days, GPU, motherboard, CPU, hard drive, all built successfully. Max manufacturing score, 10. This build scored 9.9. Memory took too long to make. So I rushed it a bit. Should have lasted 20 years. Now at least 10. Frankly, 5 or 6 years is long for a PC. I went in the lab at 9 p.m. Now it's 11 a.m. Only about 10 hours passed outside. I shipped it to Zisher's address. 6 p.m. Fans got his stream notification. They all rushed to Zisher's stream. And when they saw the new PC arrived title, they freaked. Damn, for real? That fast? Is this PC even legit? Not even a day and it's ready. Kinda curious to see it. He did spend $100,000 after all. Zisher rubbed his hands, excited. Guys, let's witness the new PC's debut. A second later, Zisher's face just froze. The case wasn't colorful or fancy at all. Where's the 28-inch curved monitor? He stared at this dusty case, and his eye twitched hard. Uncle Wang? I got scammed out of $100,000 for a PC. No, not asking for a refund. Just wondering, how many years would the builder get in jail? The chat couldn't take it anymore. Haha, I can't stop laughing. Give me 3 minutes to breathe. Love seeing the kid rage. To be honest, anyone would snap. You probably couldn't even find this in a junkyard. Guess you should have ordered from Frog. He only makes $28,000 from a $30,000 build. This greedy owner dares profit $99,000 from a $100,000 build. Now I finally get it. That's why he asked for a health report. He was afraid Zisher would faint on the spot. After hanging up, Zisher almost broke his own molars in anger. If I don't get this guy locked up, I won't be called Lou anymore, he said, tearing up as he brought out the computer he spent 100,000 yuan on. Moved it out. The fact he got scammed for 100,000 caught the platform's attention. They even sent staff to his live stream for evidence. Now what he has to do is review the computer's performance, so the staff can judge how much of his 100,000 yuan was actually a scam. He suddenly froze. Something's off. This junk computer booted up way too fast. He stubbornly shut it down. Pressed the power button again. Viewers stared right at the screen. Holy crap, what's with this boot speed? It booted up in the blink of an eye. Even good computers take 6 to 7 seconds to boot. He swallowed and said, "It's not 7 seconds. Not 6, but 4.68 seconds. Did I hear that right? 4.68 seconds, this junk computer boot time. Isn't that crushing all other computers? Fastest boot I've heard is 5 seconds. Fast boot doesn't mean good performance. I think this machine is missing lots of parts. That's why it's so fast. Maybe it's just an empty shell. An empty shell. So that's the deal." Feel sorry for his son for a second. He slammed his fist on the table. The lawyer said it earlier. 30,000 for 3 years. 100,000 for 10 years. For every extra 10,000 he scams me, I'll make sure he gets an extra year inside. He downloaded a computer testing app. Something's wrong. If the fast boots. Because parts are missing. Why is the download speed so fast? Maybe we guessed wrong again. You really can't judge this PC by looks. He glanced at the chat. Can't judge by looks, my ass. I've got gigabit fiber. Of course it's fast. This testing app looks different from mine. Processor unknown. Graphics card unknown. RAM unknown. Hard drive unknown, too. For unknowns? Can't detect anything. Related to any brand? Don't tell me it's not even a knockoff. Damn, how much is this Shinfei black market guy worth? Wait, check the score below. Score, 5,067,854. GPU, 3,098,541. RAM, 255,412. HDD, 701,576. Total score, 91,023,383. Am I seeing things or dreaming? I remember the highest scoring computer in China was only a few million tops. Is the scoring app broken? This score looks like a joke. He took a deep breath. Opened up League of Legends. Is this computer good? Let's test and see. He quickly found a game. Holy crap, you guys know who's top lane on the other team? Abin, from BLG Pro Team, Chinzabin. Waiting for his son to get destroyed. Abin just lost at Worlds. Going up against him, you'll get turned into a scrub. He smirked. It's just Abin. Honestly, my computer's the problem. Otherwise, forget Chinzabin. Even that kid from Jiangqing Road wouldn't stand a chance. Chat burst out laughing at this. P-Squad prepping their memes. Quick, wake his son up with a roast. Diabetes jokes to the back. Don't let him get even a little pride. Game started. Viewers couldn't sit still. His moves were smoother than ever. Never seen him play like this before. He'd rather stand and die than run to the turret. Started a level 1 duel with Abin. Suddenly noticed. Playing with this computer made him instantly way better. Normal hits and skills flowed perfectly. Am I seeing things or dreaming? He solo killed Abin at level 1. Grandpa's a beast. Grandpa, come back to gaming. With your skills, world champ would be no big deal. He got more confident as he played. Carried his 4 teammates and won. Abin, don't feel bad. Seems like it's because of his new PC. Check out his stream and you'll see. Then Wu Zai, Xiao Hu, and others heard about it. so they rushed over to his stream. He sat in front of the computer, still stunned. He was just joking about merging with the machine. But this computer actually made it happen. Just then, his phone rang. Uncle Wang, you're about to sue Shenfei? Don't, Shenfei's my own bro. I'll explain this later. Anyway, this computer is totally worth the 100,000 yuan. After that, he tested another big game. Damn. The cooling fan didn't even spin. Fan's not spinning. Means the CPU isn't overloaded at all. Thought the computer would hit its limit. But didn't even get close. Viewers flooded the chat. So Fei Ji's computer is insane. I admit I was wrong. Fei Ji, will you forgive me? Fei Ji's awesome. Fei Ji's the real tech genius of Dragon Country. I woke up groggy in the afternoon, opened my phone, and saw the stream's ranking. Skyrocketed to the front, like a rocket. I figured. The PC I set up for him would get some views. Didn't expect it'd blow up this much. Looks like now, don't have to worry about upgrade points. Congrats, Su got points. System upgraded to Phase 2. Category a civilian tech. Encyclopedia level skills now in your brain. Including, but not limited to, AAC, cars, phones, and advanced manufacturing. Actually, I'm more interested in Phase 3 of the system. Military manufacturing. But upgrading from Phase 2 to 3 needs 10 million points. I sighed. Even if I got 100,000 points daily, it'd still take 100 days. I checked the new orders in the back end. Mostly for custom PCs. Highest is just 150,000. Come on, unleash your imagination. I don't just build computers. If you dare to dream, I dare to build. Suddenly, a 500,000 yuan order popped up. Then Hai Xiaomei's stream exploded. Wow, everyone's asking Fei Ji for PCs. But you're asking him to build bikes. Haha. Feels like this lady just wants Fei Ji's fame. Go ahead and ride the hype. Sooner or later, drama's coming. Looking at the comments, Hai Xiaomei's face went dark. Stop calling me old lady. I'm only 27. I truly love motorcycles. Just not the mainstream ones. And they say I'm chasing clout. What the heck am I doing? And right at that moment, the chat blew up again. Oh my goodness. Feej took the old lady's order. Did Feej click the wrong order by accident? I don't think it was a mistake. That's just the scammer in him showing. Haha, dude above is hilarious. Feej's PC builds are insane. But honestly, the looks are trash. The computer case is super cheap. Feej doesn't even want to spend a bit more. I checked Haxiami's requirements for her order. Feej, she wants you to build her a bike now. Everyone says real speed shows on curves. But I can't handle corners. So I want a bike that's fast in a straight line. The faster, the better. Also, I'm a girl, you know. Brother Shenfei, make the bike look pretty. Love you. After reading her sweet message, I had goosebumps everywhere. She really is a young girl in her prime. For her riding, I'm focused on stability first. Can't let a tiny stone on the road cost her life. Of course, speed matters too. Looks like I'll have to spend big this time. I searched the warehouse and gathered all the parts for the bike. Spent a total of 12,000 yuan. Seeing that number really stings. 12,000 points gone just like that. I quickly built the bike's frame and made it super solid. Engine and transmission have to be made carefully. Those two decide the bike's speed. The design part took a lot too. About 15 days later, I looked at the bike I built with my own hands and smiled, pretty satisfied. After system check, you scored a perfect 100 this time. For the outer shell, your skills have reached new heights. Reward, 100,000 points. Guess the system isn't always stingy. A surprise bonus feels nice. Lab time used to run 5:1 with real time. But after level 2, it's up to an insane 30:15. A day's work only takes half a day in the real world. I packed everything up and sent the bike to Haxiami. Guys, look. The old lady's live stream room. Title, Feej's new bike just arrived. Wow. Not even a day. Feej already finished her bike. Any motorcycle experts watching this? Is that speed normal? I've been riding for 10 years. If it took him just one day, it's probably not quality work, haha. Told y'all the old lady was gonna get scammed by Feej. And now it really happened. So, Feej is still a top-class scammer. Makes you wonder about that 500,000. How much did Feej make off her this time? The PC Feej built for his son before. I did the math. Except for Feej's custom parts, the rest total less than 200 yuan. Here's my bold guess. Feej got 500,000. Made at least 400,000 profit. The guy above is still lowballing it. Under 450,000 profit. Feej can't call himself king of scams. Chat just keeps going. And it won't stop. In a private villa, Haixie sits in front of her PC, reading those live comments. She actually gets red-faced. What does my bike have to do with you guys? I just like what I like, that's it. Good thing I didn't stream. These trolls are so annoying. Haixie puts her hands on her hips, grumbling in frustration. She happily unboxes her package. Isn't it awesome? Why listen to other people's nonsense? Humph, I'll unbox it myself. If you want to see my new ride, too bad. Haixie huffed twice in the end. In just a couple of minutes, she tore open the big cardboard box holding the bike. But seeing the bike in front of her, her eyelids started twitching hard. Shinfei, did you really scam me? You're so annoying, seriously. How come you're exactly like those trolls said? Scammer, seriously a scammer. This bike really is aerodynamic. But good looking? Not at all. Especially in the sunlight. The outer shell looks like rusty iron. That's been scrubbed clean. It's as ugly as it gets. Haixie almost wanted to cry. But as soon as she gets on the bike and turns the key, it all stops. Wait, gas? Shinfei, you jerk. You're the worst scammer ever. I spent 500,000 on this. And you can't even fill up the tank for me? Shinfei, don't think I won't call the cops. Let me test the speed first. If I'm not happy, I'm calling the police for real. But before calling the cops, she obviously has to buy gas first. On Tiger Shark platform, in Haixie stream, more and more viewers showed up. People flooded in. Her popularity nearly matched her actual streams. Everyone's definitely curious about Haixie new bike. Whoa, guys. Guess what I just saw? Just now. I spotted the old lady. Whoa, dude. You saw her? Quick, take a photo. What's her new bike like? The chat in the live stream totally blew up after a user named DefeatAll commented. Like an explosion. And as everyone waited, a few seconds later, that user, DefeatAll, finally commented again. I took a close look. But all I saw was the old lady buying gas alone at the station. Feej built her a motorcycle. But I didn't even see her ride it over. Makes no sense. Does she always keep 98-octane gas at home? DefeatAll just sounded so confused. But some quick-minded viewers immediately figured it out. She went to the station for gas. Because Feej didn't fill the tank. Haha, that's gotta be it. Feej really is the king of scammers. He can't even spare 100 yuan to fill the tank. You can always trust Feej. He never lets anyone down. Looks like that earlier guess, 500,000 for Feej. Saying he only scammed 450,000 is low. Probably more like 470,000 or 480,000. Once she gets the gas, Haixie turned the key. The bike I made for her started right up. After putting on her helmet, Xiaomei rode the bike away from the villa. She had ridden motorcycles before, but she was clearly a total amateur. So, regarding the bike's performance, she didn't really understand much. Just twisting the throttle all the way. After riding for about 2 kilometers, she finally pulled over. This bike is actually quite comfortable. But at 70 miles per hour, is that even fast? In front of her was a high-speed rail station. Because it was so remote, very few people came here for the train. However, the scenery was quite nice. So whenever Xiaomei was upset, she liked to come here and sit. Just to be alone for a while. It always managed to heal her mood. Shinfei, you total jerk. Luckily, this place makes me feel better. Or I'd be dying of frustration. 10 minutes later, feeling much calmer now, Xiaomei got up to ride back home. But just at that moment, a young man around 27 rushed up to her looking very anxious. Miss, I have a real emergency. Can I please borrow your bike for a bit? Hearing the man's sudden request, Xiaomei immediately became a bit guarded. Why do you want my bike? The man turned to look at the station. Immediately after, a look of deep sorrow crossed his face. My girlfriend of 7 years just broke up with me. But she said if I can catch up to the high-speed train she's on, we might still have a chance. So please, I'm begging you. Can I borrow your bike to try? Don't worry, if I wreck it, I'll sell everything I own to pay you back. He looked straight at Xiaomei, his eyes filled with desperate pleading and a touch of stubbornness. Hearing this, Xiaomei was completely stunned. Wait, man, did I hear that right? You're chasing a train on a bike? Do you know how fast those trains go? It's not that I won't lend it, but it's impossible to catch up. Xiaomei often took the high-speed rail, so she knew its terrifying speed. It easily exceeds 300 kilometers per hour. How could a bike ever reach that? And even if it could, trains and bikes are totally different. When she hit 70 miles per hour just now, it felt like her body was flying, and her soul was trying to keep up. Riding a bike at 300 kilometers per hour. If you're lucky, you're covered in dust. If you're not, you're in a casket. Have you ever heard the saying? Even if it seems impossible, I still have to try. I'm afraid if I miss this, I'll lose her forever. Let 7 years of love burn in the wind one last time. At that moment, the man said with tears in his eyes. Hearing this, Xiaomei stood there frozen. She didn't have much romantic experience, nor did she understand a 7-year bond, or what it truly felt like. But at this moment, she was truly moved by him. She handed the keys to the young man. With a small smile, Xiaomei said, "Good luck, man." He took the keys and gave a heavy nod. Just then, a breeze from the departing train blew by. The man looked into the distance, at the train already hundreds of meters away, and yelled to her, "Thanks. I owe you big time. She's on that train. I have to go." He rushed to the bike, put on the helmet, and started the engine. The next second, with a sonic boom, Xiaomei's hair was blown wild. She looked at her rocket-like bike and was completely dazed. Why does it look different from when I ride? Xiaomei watched blankly as the bike sped away into the distance. Then she looked at the train already at full speed, and her pupils shrunk in shock. Based on her estimate, the train's current speed was at least 260 or 270, if not 300 kilometers per hour. But the man on her bike was visibly closing the gap with the train. Everyone on the train who saw this felt a chill run from their feet to their heads. Then, the sound of phones being pulled out echoed throughout the entire carriage. Some turned on their cameras to record this incredible sight. Others messaged their loved ones on WeChat, telling them what was happening. But at the same time, people were also puzzled. Why ride a bike so fast? Do they have a death wish? Even if traffic was light there, at such extreme speeds, one tiny mistake would mean a fatal crash. Wait, everyone look. Look over there. Just then, someone shouted in surprise again. Everyone looked over and saw the bike that had pulled ahead and vanished reappear again. But this time, the bike was stopped. Beside the bike, a young man was kneeling on one knee, gazing passionately at the train. He was clearly holding something up, though it was a bit far, and they couldn't see exactly what it was. Many guessed it must be a ring. The train carriage went silent for a second, then erupted into an uproar. That boy rode so fast, just to catch up to our train, risking his life, pushing a bike to nearly 400 kilometers per hour, just to chase one person. On this train, there must be a girl he loves deeply. By one of the windows, a quiet-looking girl, watching the boy on his knee, finally burst into tears. She covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face uncontrollably. Meanwhile, Xiaomei, still waiting at the station, had no idea what was happening. After the man named Zhang Ping rode away with the bike, Xiaomei's eyes were full of worry. She wasn't worried about the bike getting damaged. "It's not about the money, I'm just worried something might happen to Zhang Ping." After all, Zhang Ping left so fast, way too fast. Now even the high-speed train and Zhang Ping's motorcycle are out of sight. They're both gone now. Of course I'm worried. Big bro, please stay safe. Otherwise, I'll totally regret lending you my bike. But just then, a faint engine sound suddenly reached her ears. Hearing the noise, she quickly looked up at the road. When she saw Zhang Ping riding back safely, she finally breathed a huge sigh of relief. Once Zhang Ping stopped and got closer, she hurried to comfort him, saying, "Big bro, it's okay you didn't catch up. At least you gave it your best shot. Now you have no regrets." "Girl, are you doubting my skills? Or maybe your motorcycle is just that good. Maybe I just don't ride well enough, so I couldn't catch the high-speed train. But I used to be a riding fan," Zhang Ping said with a big smile. Hearing that, this time it was her turn to be shocked. "The motorcycle is too powerful. No way it can't catch up to a high-speed train." "Wait, big bro, are you saying you actually caught up?" she asked, looking amazed. Zhang Ping nodded happily. Then he turned to look at the bike behind him, his eyes full of awe. "Honestly, at first, I thought catching the high-speed train was impossible. But I didn't want to have any regrets. So I hopped on your bike, gunned the throttle and shifted hard. Then I was shocked to find, with your bike's speed, even the high-speed train looked to me as slow as a snail. I thought maybe the train was moving slow. But I looked down at the speedometer and saw 400 miles per hour. That converts to over 600 kilometers per hour. And I know, that's not even your bike's top speed yet. I didn't even twist the throttle all the way. So, girl, stop messing with me. With your motorcycle, There's no way it can't catch a high-speed train. It could probably keep up with a plane. Ajing just messaged me. And said she'll wait for me at the next stop. Thank you. Thank you so much. If it weren't for you and your bike, I really might have missed her. Looking at her, Zhang Ping said, full of gratitude. Then he checked the time. And apologized, sorry, but I gotta hurry and grab a ticket to catch the next train to see Ajing. After that, he thanked her again, sincerely. Finally, Zhang Ping rushed toward the train station entrance. But what he didn't know was, as he thanked her, she didn't hear a word. After he finished talking about the motorcycle made by Shenfei, she was completely stunned. She just stared blankly at her bike by her side. She swallowed hard, gulping in shock. Never mind catching a train. Catching a plane wouldn't be a problem either. Shenfei, my dear Fei Ji, what kind of crazy bike did you give me? Sorry, I was too loud before. Fei Ji, you're no swindler. You're literally the best builder out there. You didn't fill up the gas tank. Probably because you went over budget. $500,000 wasn't even enough, right? You really went above and beyond for me. You never ripped me off at all. Right now, in her heart, my image instantly became legendary. And this bike I have now, I just can't be happier. I don't care what it looks like anymore. If it can help two lovers reunite and save a relationship, then that's the best bike ever. Props to you, Fei Ji. I'm giving you a perfect score. 10 out of 10. On the way back, Ai Xiaomei was just so happy. Her mood was totally different from before. She still didn't know. Because of her motorcycle, the internet was going wild. All this was because the passengers on that high-speed train posted all their videos online. In just a short while, everyone scrolling through their feeds couldn't stop seeing it everywhere. Every 10 videos, at least 8 were about Zhang Ping chasing the high-speed train on a motorcycle, racing for love. The whole chasing the train on a bike thing shot right to the top of trending. Countless people online were deeply moved by this love story. In a courtyard in Beijing, famous biker vlogger Pai Yu was on live stream, showing the chase video to her viewers. She played the whole thing for them. I don't know if anyone noticed. The entire video is just 9 seconds long. And in those 9 seconds, the bike passed 26 utility poles. According to municipal plans in Shanghai lately, on construction, the poles on Chenghua Avenue are set exactly 55 meters apart. So it's 26 poles, 55 meters between each, in 9 seconds. With all that, the calculation shows that the motorcycle in the video was going over 600 kilometers per hour. That's insane, just nuts. I've been riding for years. I've never seen such a wild machine. Pai Yu couldn't help clicking his tongue in awe. Looking at the motorcycle in the video, he was full of envy. Even though you can't really see the bike clearly on video, the image is super blurry. But if you ask me, with performance like that, looks don't even matter. Forget owning one. If I could just take it for one ride, I'd be happy. Pai Yu was full of dreams. And his live viewers, over 100,000 people, were just stunned by his words. The chase video itself was already shocking enough. But for the speed, no one really had a clue. But hearing Pai Yu break it all down, over 100,000 viewers, just got goosebumps. No way. Am I hearing this right? Over 600 kilometers an hour? I usually drive at 120, and it already feels like my soul's left behind. But this motorcycle, the top speed actually hit a terrifying 600 plus. Is that biker really not afraid to die? Even the Reaper wants to take him. But I simply can't catch up. I feel like the helmet he's wearing is pretty much redundant. I can only say those 9 short seconds were more exciting than my whole life. Take the dream bike of every rider. The Kawasaki H2R, for example. It has 998 cubic centimeters displacement and 310 horsepower, and can, within 26 seconds, reach a speed of 400 kilometers per hour. It's called a ground-flying jet. 400 kilometers per hour already exceeds the normal speed of a bullet train. But those specs were all tested on professional tracks. Those roads are not only smooth and flat, but also have the ideal hardness for bikes. Under those conditions, the Kawasaki H2R can reach its top speed of 400 kilometers per hour. But that Chenghua Avenue doesn't have any of those conditions. There are probably many small pebbles on the road. In that situation, for that bike to reach over 600 kilometers per hour, do you know what that means? It means the engine and drivetrain, along with its stability, are absolutely insane. It's not just one level above every bike currently on the market. Otherwise, a pebble the size of a thumb could cause a fatal crash at 600 kilometers per hour. And there's one more thing I can't ignore. The video is only 9 seconds long. But the chase definitely lasted longer. The whole process likely took over 2 minutes. A Kawasaki H2 are at 400 km per hour. Would blow its engine after 1 minute. But that bike hit 600. And ran for 2 minutes without a single issue. I don't even know what words to use to describe it anymore. It completely shatters my knowledge of bikes. Calling it the unrivaled king of the bike world wouldn't be an exaggeration at all. As Payu finished speaking, the excitement in her beautiful eyes could no longer be hidden. And the many viewers in the stream, after hearing Payu's analysis, were also completely stunned. The bike they saw in the video could actually be called the most badass motorcycle on the planet. A Kawasaki H2R costs over $100,000. So this bike, being levels above an H2R, must easily be worth over $1 million. On Warehouse Avenue, while the netizens were speculating, Hai Xiaomei, the owner of the bike, knew nothing about all this. She was cruising casually down the highway. And because she was in such a great mood, she even started a live stream. I'm in a good mood today. Streaming for half an hour. Hearing Hai Xiaomei's cheerful voice, the chat went silent for a moment, then exploded like a tidal wave. Wait, did I hear that right? Good mood? Is that woman out of her mind? After being scammed by that crook brother Faye, she's actually in a good mood? Man, I can't take this. Totally unacceptable. Shouldn't she be heartbroken and crying? I came here to see her cry. Guys, is there a possibility that she's in love with brother Faye? Being scammed by the one you love is a kind of happiness to her? The viewers got more and more wild. Hai Xiaomei glanced at the chat while writing, and just happened to see those comments. Immediately, her eyes started to twitch. Hey, what the hell am I that desperate for? Before she could finish her sentence, she suddenly let out a scream. The viewers were startled by the scream. Both rider and bike crashed into the curb. When they looked at the screen again, the viewers were all stunned. A crash. At that moment, Hai Xiaomei and her bike were sprawled on the side of the road. And in front of her to the left, a cool Ferrari F90 sports car also came to a slow stop. After the Ferrari stopped, a trendy-looking, but somewhat effeminate man stepped out of the car. After getting out, he didn't even look at Hai Xiaomei lying on the ground. Instead, he walked around his $1 million car, checking for damage. Then, he glared at Hai Xiaomei with a grim face. Sell your house. The man's sudden words left Hai Xiaomei stunned. She forced herself up despite the pain, then said, feeling extremely aggrieved, "It was you. You suddenly swerved into the turn." The man sneered at her words. And then, a look of disbelief crossed his pale face. "Are you joking? You're the one not watching the road. I'm so over you biker girls. Do you know how much the scratch from your piece of junk costs?" The man crossed his arms, looking down his nose at Hai Xiaomei. Hai Xiaomei also seemed to realize she was still streaming while writing. If the police came, she'd likely have to pay. So, Hai Xiaomei bit her lip and said, "I'll pay for the damage to your car. But you also have to pay for my bike." As she spoke, she looked at the bike I gave her. In the collision, it wasn't just the Ferrari that got a scratch. Hai Xiaomei's fairing was severely damaged. If that fairing hadn't absorbed most of the impact, Hai Xiaomei's leg would have been more than just a simple cut. "Fine, have it your way. My time is very valuable, and I don't want to waste it on you. Give me 5 million. As for your bike, 3,000 is more than enough." Li Jiazhen waved his hand, looking very impatient. Hearing this, Hai Xiaomei was frozen in shock. 5 million? Bro, are you a highway robber? Li Jiazhen looked at her shocked expression and curled his lip again. Is 5 million expensive? If you can't afford it, reflect on yourself. Have you worked hard these past years? Did your salary go up? Don't wait until you're broke to realize you're a loser. Forget it, I'm done wasting words with you. I'll call the cops and let them handle it. As Li Jiazhen spoke, he started to pull out his phone to call. Seeing this, little Hai gritted her teeth. So just because you say 5 million, it's 5 million? It's not like I've never seen a sports car. Even if you completely repaint your car and fix it up, the most it'll cost is 200,000 tops. I can pay you that much. But you have to fix my bike too. Let's be clear first. I don't want your money. I just want my bike fixed like before. In the end, the look in little Hai's eyes couldn't help but show a bit of heartache. The bike Shenfei got her. She really loves it now. Now the shell got smashed and is out of shape. Of course it hurts her. Looking worldwide, my Ferrari F90 is one of a kind. Not to mention Mr. Manzoni personally designed it. And your crappy bike? You still expect me to find someone to fix it? I don't have time for that. I make more in an hour than your junk bike is worth. Here's 100 grand. That should cover your lousy bike, right? This bike is so ugly. It's just disgusting. Looking at it one more second just dirties my eyes. Now that I bought it, I'm the one who decides what to do with it. Eru, smash it for me. Li Jiazhen threw a bank card on the ground. Then he turned to look over at a big, burly man standing nearby. Earlier, even the livestream viewers didn't notice. Someone else got out of Li Jiazhen's car. Now that bodyguard-looking guy called Eru heard Li Jiazhen's order and immediately rolled up his sleeves and started walking towards Little Hai's bike. Along the way, that big guy even picked up a brick off the ground. Looked like he really planned to follow Li Jiazhen's words and smash the bike to pieces. Watching the big guy with a brick, there's no way Little Hai wasn't scared. But she couldn't just watch her beloved bike get destroyed. Stop. Don't do it. Don't touch my bike. Little Hai bravely stood in front of the big guy. But he didn't even look at her. Just pushed her hard aside. The guy was already raising the brick, about to smash it down on the bike. Little Hai panicked, and tears started pouring down. I don't want your money. Don't smash my bike. But just as the brick in his hand was about to hit the bike, a dull bang suddenly rang out. Then Little Hai looked up, her pretty face still streaked with tears, and couldn't help but freeze. A few foreigners in suits had suddenly appeared, and they just shoved Li Jiazhen's bodyguard away, sending him back 7 or 8 meters. Little Hai still hadn't processed what just happened, when an old, white-haired foreign man came rushing out. He ran to Little Hai, knelt by her bike and looked absolutely heartbroken. Oh God, who did this? Whoever it was, I'll have Jesus curse him. Curse him. The old man kept talking as he actually started wiping away tears. Now it wasn't just little Dumbstruck who was shocked. Even Li Jiechi next to him couldn't help but furrow his brows. But, looking at the old man and those foreigners in suits, Li Jiazhen didn't dare act tough. Who are you? His voice slowly echoed around the scene. The old foreign man ignored him and just mumbled to himself, then turned excitedly to look at Little Hai. Esteemed Miss, I'm the chief head of the Chrysler Group China Division. Muda. 20 minutes ago, our company's information team found Mr. Zhang Ping. After consulting with Mr. Zhang Ping, we learned that the bike capable of hitting over 600 kilometers per hour is yours. Now, on behalf of Chrysler Group, I greet you, esteemed lady, and hope you can transfer this incredible bike to us. Of course, rest assured, we'll give you a price you'll be happy with. Muda's bright eyes made Little Hai a little creeped out, and the way he spoke flawless Chinese made Little Hai just freeze in shock. As for the countless viewers watching the stream, there was a moment of silence. Then total chaos. Damn, did I hear that right? Is the old foreign guy saying the bike that chased the high-speed train belongs to that lady? That bike everyone's been raving about, the one that's legendary in the bike community, was actually made by Fei Ge? Wasn't everyone saying it's just a marketing stunt? Babe, slap me. I think I'm hallucinating watching this live stream. Seeing that Little Hai was still spaced out, Muda turned and looked coldly at Li Jiazhen. Muda gently waved his hand, and the big foreign security guys next to him headed straight toward Li Jiazhen. They walked over right at him. Li Jiazhen saw this. His throat moved, and he swallowed. He stammered, "What are you doing? This is a nation of laws. Hitting people is a crime." Before Li Jiazhen could finish, another dull bang sounded. Turns out those foreign bodyguards weren't going for him, but went right past him, pulled out batons, and started smashing his multi-million-dollar sports car. Hit after hit, the sound of metal and glass echoing in the air. Not even a few seconds later, Li Jiazhen's Ferrari, all shining and bold, was wrecked beyond repair. Seeing this scene, Li Jiazhen couldn't help but twitch at the corner of his eyes. But with those foreign bodyguards around, he didn't dare say a word. Not far away, Little Hai had just snapped out of her daze and came to her senses. Looking at this wild scene, she hurriedly said, "Uncle Muda, I never said I wanted to sell you the bike." Little Hai thought Muda was helping her out, but when he heard her, Muda just shook his head slowly and said, "My esteemed lady, this has nothing to do with whether I'll sell you the bike or not. He damaged this gift from God to humanity. Of course I want payback. What a perfect motorcycle. All because of this idiot. Now there's a flaw." Shaking her head, she finished talking to Hai Girl. Miad then looked at Li Jiazhen with a cold expression. "Your bike is totaled now. Later, our Chrysler Group will compensate you with a new one. Exactly the same. But for what you did to this bike, Our Chrysler Group is ready to fully represent this distinguished lady and take legal action against you. If the bike's shell can be restored, it's better if it can't. Then you'll face the most serious legal consequences. Our entire Chrysler Group legal team will treat this case as our top priority. Of course, before that, I need to remind you, the shell of this motorcycle is directly related to its insane stability. This kind of tech has never appeared anywhere in the world. Every word from Mude was hitting hard, echoing around the scene. Li Jiajun was completely stunned, just thinking about how he'll face an entire international company's legal department. Li Jiajun couldn't stop shaking. As for the countless viewers online, after what Mude said, they finally got it. Muj. Why he'd step up for High Girl as the regional head makes sense now. At this point, the real reason is still all about the bike Shenfei built. Uncle Mude, thank you so much. But I still can't sell the bike to you. But you can order one from Bro Fei. You know, this bike was custom made for me by Bro Fei. Just the name Shenfei makes High Girl totally starstruck right now. Mude just shook his head and gave a wry smile when he heard that. Since we found you, miss, we also know where the bike really came from. And we got all the details. Right away, we placed an order with Mr. Shenfei and sent him a formal proposal to collaborate. But Mr. Shenfei replied he's not interested. Mr. Shenfei, he only sells products, not patents. If we figure out how Shenfei's tech works, he'll let us use it. We just have to pay royalties. Just a licensing fee, that's all. That's why we're so eager. How about this? My distinguished lady, on behalf of our group, I'd like to rent this amazing motorcycle from you. For a while. It won't be long. 3 days is enough. In 3 days, I'll return the bike to you in perfect condition. Mude looked at High Girl expectantly and said. And after hearing this, High Girl didn't say no. It's just a 3-day rental. She could live with that. And as for the millions online, the chat just blew up instantly after that. Is this my idol Bro Fei or what? He's too cool. Only sells the product, not the patent. Even facing a big group like Chrysler, Bro Fei didn't even blink. I can totally imagine. Bro Fei probably turned down a huge number. Seriously, with a bike worth 10 million, Mude even said he didn't mind wrecking it. The price they offered must have been 9 digits easy. All I can say is, the tech in Bro Fei's bikes is literally priceless. Bro Fei's awesome in every way. Just way too many orders. When's it gonna be my turn? Countless viewers kept talking non-stop. No sign of it slowing down. And the smart ones? Already raced to my live stream room. Just like always, all I do on my channel is take orders. Never actually stream. But right now, I can't believe how many are pouring in. The numbers just shattered all records. 2 million, 3 million, 5 million. Until the stream heat index shot up to 8 million, then finally started slowing down. And now, pending orders have shot past 800,000. And that number is still growing crazy fast. The craziest part is, the price for these orders is just insane. The current top 10 orders, even the lowest price has topped 1 million. They're all coming to me for custom bikes. The top 5 are all major motorcycle manufacturers. And the prices they're offering have already reached 3 million. It's clear they're acting just like the Chrysler Group. They have the same goal: to buy a bike I built and study the tech I used on it. But they're disappointed because, up till now, I haven't accepted a single order. In the live stream chat, tons of viewers and motorcycle companies are all waiting for me to pick an order. But after a few hours, I still haven't made a move. It seems like I'm not paying any attention to the stream. A lot of motorcycle fans are getting restless. So they all rush to the Chrysler Group's official site. After all, they're the only group holding a Shenfei motorcycle now. And even if I take an order, I'll only accept one at most. But what if Chrysler makes a breakthrough over there? Then everything changes. Maybe soon, everyone will be riding a Shenfei Old Coupe bike. Hey Old Coupe, have you figured out Shenfei's tech yet? We're just waiting for you to build one. If you can make an identical bike, we'll all buy from you. Yeah, Old Coupe. Can you help us make our motorcycle dream come true? We're all counting on you. Kawasaki Group. Chrysler, can you do it or not? If you can't, give the bike to us to study. Suzuki Motorcycles. Old Chuan's got a point. If you can't do it, let somebody else try. Don't hold on to it and do nothing. The message board under Chrysler's official site is really popping off right now. It's not just regular motorcycle fans who are urging them on. Even the big bike manufacturers are pressuring Chrysler Group now. And under all this pressure, Chrysler's official site gave a reply pretty quickly. They responded promptly. After thoroughly testing Mr. Shinfei's motorcycle, doing a full checkup, we regret to inform all fans following Chrysler Group. First, for Mr. Shinfei's custom bike. On certain tech aspects, we just can't break through at this point. It'll take at least 3 years, minimum. Second, after testing, we found out the top speed of this bike isn't just over 600 kilometers per hour. It can actually reach 798 kilometers per hour. That's almost 800 kilometers per hour. And that's because Mr. Shinfei's materials weren't even the best available. Certain components, Mr. Shinfei seemed to cut back on purpose. If he didn't hold back, we believe it could easily break 800 kilometers per hour. Finally, our Chrysler board has decided unanimously to invite Mr. Shinfei for unlimited future collaboration. He truly is the future and hope of the motorcycle world. Motorcycles will thrive because of him. This statement from Chrysler Group is packed with information. Once released, it was like tossing a huge stone into an otherwise calm lake. Waves of shock followed instantly. Not just the online crowd was stunned, even the big bike makers all went quiet. They're shook, really shook. 600 isn't even its top speed. 800 kilometers per hour is no problem at all. What Shinfei's built isn't a motorcycle. It's basically a ground jet. Motorcycles will truly shine because of Shinfei. Remember, that's a public company's evaluation of him. No wonder Shinfei said they could study it all they want. He even said he'd discount the patent fees. Looks like Shinfei always knew Chrysler wouldn't be able to figure much out anyway. Am I the only one who noticed the cutting materials part? Shinfei really did rip off the investor lady. Haha, being nice it's saving materials. Not so nice, that's cutting corners. Shinfei lives up to his shady businessman title. Like I said before, you can trust Shinfei's tech, but never his ethics. Haha, I'm dying laughing. I just want to know how much Shinfei made off those 2 deals. I'm dying of curiosity. Comments just keep rolling in. They never stop. But one thing's clear. Chrysler's announcement just put Shinfei and his Super God Workshop on another level entirely. Now people finally get it. Super God Workshop really can make your dreams come true. That's not just some slogan. It's not me being dramatic. It's honestly the truth. So in no time, my shop started getting more orders again. Orders went through the roof. Even folks who aren't into motorcycles started letting their imagination run wild. They're sending in all kinds of new orders. Inside the suburban workshop, I actually stopped keeping up with the online chatter. Once I heard that Xiaomei caused a frenzy online. Thanks to the bike I made her, I instantly used the system to buy a ton of equipment. I put it all in the factory building behind my shop. I totally get that being famous attracts drama. Now with so much attention online, sooner or later my little shop's gonna be exposed. If that happens, and people find out it's basically just an empty shell, it's gonna be a problem. Thankfully, behind my shop, there's a massive factory building. I bought a bunch of equipment from the system mall and moved everything straight into the building. At first glance, my shop actually looks legit now. But all that gear used up nearly all the money I made from those 2 big orders. Almost all spent. Now my account balance is down to less than $2,000. I patted my hands, brushed off the dust from setting up the factory, cleaned myself up, and sat back at the computer again. Time to take my 3rd order. Right now, I'm still far from the 10 million system points needed for the upgrade. Long way to go. But as soon as I opened the live stream room and saw the tags under my shop description, I couldn't help twitching a bit. Tech Genius, 1.08 million likes. Snail Speed Efficiency, 960,000 likes. Worst Streamer Who Never Streams, 740,000 likes. If Shinfei can accept those, then Shady Businessman King, 5.78 million likes. What is that even? Man. So what if I saved a tiny bit on costs? You can't just focus on my materials and ignore everything else. I mumbled to myself. Whatever, forget it. If I'm a shady businessman, so be it. It's all the system's fault. And they only figured out that I made money. But there's no way they could guess how much I made, I said confidently. But at that moment, a system alert popped up. And I was honestly stunned. Ding. Periodic financial report is being generated. Expected completion within a week. The system will automatically announce the financial report in the host's live stream. The system's soft voice rang in my mind. But right then, the system's voice sounded ice cold to me. After being silent for more than 10 seconds, I finally exploded, face dark. System, are you kidding me? I'm just a small manufacturing shop, not some big listed company. Why announce a financial report? You told me to make money from them. And now you're stabbing me in the back. Are you even human? Or do you think my life has been too easy? Trying to get those customers. To kill me? My chest was heaving. The anger in my eyes felt almost real. Lucky the system can't be seen or touched. Otherwise, I'd want to teach it a lesson myself. Right now, people online are just guessing how much money I made. When the financial report is released, it won't even matter if people call me a shady investor or not. That's not the point anymore. I'm just worried that one day, if the shop's address gets leaked, there'll be a mountain of blades at the door. I was fuming. But after the alert, the system totally went silent. No matter how much I yelled, there wasn't the slightest reply. I took a deep breath. I knew it was pointless to talk to the system. This system is just here to mess with me. I straightened up at my computer again. Still mad, I started checking orders. Looking at all these fancy orders, and their sky-high prices, my mood actually improved a little. After Chrysler publicly said, my motorcycle tech couldn't break through for now, all the big airport companies gave up. So the prices didn't go any higher. But the top orders now are between 3 and 3.5 million each. At this rate, just a few more motorcycle orders, and I can reach 10 million soon. That'll upgrade the system points. And the system will reach phase 3. Upgrading is important, but honestly, enjoying the challenge and pushing myself matters even more. Otherwise, when it hits phase 3, or even 4, 5, 6, the functions will get way stronger, but I might not be able to keep up. Thinking this, I stopped what I was doing, planning to wait for the right order. Or maybe later. If there are no good orders, I'll just pick the one with the highest price. But just then, an order suddenly popped up in the back end. And it shot straight to number 1. The former first place was a motorcycle order for over 3.5 million. But this one blew it away. I was a little surprised. Then, I clicked open the order to check the details. At first glance, I frowned a little. But after reading it twice more, my eyes started shining. Alright, this is the one. As I accepted the new order, the internet blew up. Sharkstream platform. In the live stream where I run my shop, there were millions of viewers watching. Seeing me take that order, everyone was stunned. Me Tech, what the hell? It's actually Me Tech. Is Faye's reputation already big enough to reach Lay Boss? Wait, is it really that Me Tech with Lay Boss? They're giving Faye an order for a new energy car. No need to guess. Of course it is. Order amount, 9.99 million. I could tell that's Lay's price even blindfolded. Man, Lay Boss is being reckless. How much will Faye milk him for with 9.99 million? And Faye only sells products, not patents. Isn't it way too much to pay 9.99 million for one car? I bet Faye the scam master is just fishing. And right now, looks like he's caught a big one in Lay Boss. Haha, maybe this is Faye's retirement order after making 10 million. If that's the case, Faye could just quit after this. Still, I think Dear Lay Boss is about to get played hard by Faye. Motorcycles and cars are totally different, especially new energy vehicles. The tech is way more advanced. That's not something one person can pull off. Yeah, exactly. You said the same thing when Faye built that motorcycle for Hi Girl. You all said computers and bikes were totally different. But what happened then? Alright, that's enough arguing. We've been talking for so long and nothing useful came out of it. What's Lay Boss thinking? Just ask Me Tech directly. After all that chat in the live stream, viewers left my channel one after another, and flooded the comments on Me Tech's website instead. Meanwhile, in Me Tech's headquarters in Yanjing, all the Me Tech board members had gathered together, and it was absolute chaos. All of this was because Lay Boss placed that order with me. Most people online still didn't know that Lay Boss made that decision, all on his own, without any approval from the board. Now, as things heated up online, the Me Tech board members were all slamming the table at Lay Boss. Lay Boss, you gotta explain this to us. Everyone's heard of Shenfei. He's great, but only with computers and motorcycles. But our Me Tech cars, from research until now, have taken hundreds of millions already. Even with that much, nothing's worked out yet. Now you're handing over 10 million to some small business owner on a live stream platform? Isn't that just nuts? Me Tech board vice chairman, and also the head of Me Tech's auto division, Lin Jianqing, frowned and said, for him, this is pure chaos, and a direct challenge to Lay Boss's authority. But honestly, the rest of the board was kinda used to this, not even looking surprised. The truth is they all knew that to outsiders, Lay Boss is the face of Me Tech. But over the past 2 years, the Lin faction led by Lin Jianqing has been gradually sidelining Lay Boss. especially in the past year. Lin Jianqing became the chief director of Dami Auto R&D. This situation has been getting worse. And Lei Bus, without board approval, directly placed an order with me for new energy vehicles. In Lin Jianqing's eyes, that was almost Lei Bus taking a stab at him. That's why his emotions are running so high. This point, everyone here already saw it coming. The group board members in the meeting room looked at each other, then all turned their heads to Lei Bus sitting at the chairman's seat. They wanted to see how he would respond to Lin Jianqing's words. Right now, the Dami group's internal struggle. They haven't picked sides yet. Logically, considering Lei Bus's track record and his status in Dami group, they have every reason to back Lei Bus. But Lin Jianqing is not simple either. Rumor has it he's backed by big shots from Yanjing. His family once made huge contributions toward society's progress. Now things have reached this point. They all sense a final showdown coming. But who's to say this time? It'll be Lei Bus kicking out Lin Jianqing and fully taking back Dami Group under his control again, or Lin Jianqing will rise up and completely defeat Lei Bus. Ha ha ha, it's just a 10 million spending limit. Do I really have to report it to you? Just for spending 10 million? Facing Lin Jianqing's words, Lei Bus replied with a relaxed smile. Major group expenses. Need a board meeting to decide together. But that's at least sums in the billions. Now it's just 10 million. He really doesn't need to notify Lin Jianqing or the board at all. When Lin Jianqing heard that, he looked up at Lei Bus, and his face suddenly showed a mix of anger and sadness. He pressed his lips and said seriously, Lei, 10 million might seem small, but its impact on Dami Group, who knows how big it can be? Do you really not get that? As soon as news spread of your order with Shenfei, in less than 15 minutes, Dami Tech's Hong Kong stock price started fluctuating. Now our investors and shareholders are questioning Dami Group's strength. A listed company, with its main focus on new energy vehicles, is outsourcing to a small shop owner. If this keeps up, Dami Group could be ruined. I suggest we immediately stop the deal with Shenfei. You should personally clarify everything and say this was just a misunderstanding. At the same time, increase investment in Dami Auto, so our investors see Dami Group is committed to the new energy vehicle sector. Lin Jianqing's face went from serious to excited. His speech got more and more passionate, acting like he's the only one thinking about the group's best interests. But after hearing what he said, Lei Bus couldn't help but laugh. His smile grew even brighter than before. Everyone, take a look. Director Lin sure can act. Honestly, Director Lin, maybe you should just star in movies. I swear you'd be an award-winning actor. Lei Bus kept grinning, but his words hit like a slap right across Lin Jianqing's face. Inside the meeting room, it fell silent in an instant. Several directors looked at Lei Bus, all shivering without meaning to. At that moment, they finally remembered who stood before them. Lei Bus, who peaked right from the start. The poorest he ever got was 4 billion. The two Moss from the same era were still stuck somewhere obscure back then. And every change in these directors' faces didn't escape Lin Jianqing's eyes. Lei Bus's harsh words kept echoing in his ears, and Lin Jianqing's face turned pitch black. Lei, what is that supposed to mean? Are you insulting me? Lin Jianqing spoke in a low, heavy voice that bounced off the meeting room walls. Lei Bus slowly put away his smile. So you're saying my decision made Dami Group's stock price fluctuate? Let me ask you, if we keep throwing money into Dami Motors non-stop and see nothing come out of it, will that really keep the stock prices steady? It's been a year, Lin Jianqing. I've had enough. My patience is gone. You accuse me of disrespecting you. Aren't you just bringing it on yourself? Lei Bus glared coldly at Lin Jianqing, totally unlike his usual kind self. He seemed like a stranger, almost scary. Hearing this, Lin Jianqing just went dead silent. A few seconds ticked by before Lin Jianqing slowly looked up. Since you put it that way, Lei, there's nothing left for me to say. Let's sign a bet agreement. Give me 3 days. If I can't lead Daming Motors to roll out the first Daming S7 car, I'll step down from my post as head of Daming Motors. No questions asked. But if I pull it off, you need to quit as executive director. Lei, do you dare accept? As soon as Lin Jianqing said this, the meeting room burst into noise. All the directors guessed these two might go all in today, but they never thought it'd get this intense. Director Lin, think it over. Calm down. Lei, Lin, he's just mad right now. Don't take it to heart. Come on, guys. Let's all sit, have some tea, talk things through. The directors all started chiming in, each trying to get Lei Bus and Lin Jianqing to cool off. But Lin Jianqing just ignored them all and stared straight at Lei Bus. like he was ready to face off to the end. As Lin Jianqing shot him that sharp look, Lei Bus suddenly seemed calm again. He leaned back in his chair and tossed a folder onto the table. Since we're betting, let's make it big. As Dami Group's executive director, I'll announce it publicly. 3 days from now, at Beishan Square, we'll have the launch event for Dami Motors. You show up with Dami's S7. I'll bring the car Shenfei gave me. We'll see who's the real winner. If you win, I'll not only step down as executive director, I'll also sell my Dami shares. Every single one. But if you lose, I don't want you in Dami anymore. You have to sell all your Dami stock. Every bit of it. Lei Bus didn't raise his voice. But every word hit like thunder, ringing in everyone's ears. No one expected this. Lei Bus had already written the whole wager agreement. The dozen or so directors came to their senses, and all stared at Lei Bus together, thinking he must be out of his mind. Looking at this agreement, Lin Jianqing clearly has the upper hand now. Whatever you say, Dami Motors has been developing for a year. God knows how much money went in. And now Lei Bus wants to bet everything with just Shenfei and 9.99 million. Going head to head with Lin Jianqing. It's basically Lei Bus and Shenfei against the whole Dami group. All the directors traded looks, their faces showing just a touch of disbelief, mixed with real respect. Never in their lives did they expect one day Lei Bus would stand as an outsider, fighting the very Dami he built himself. But what they did understand is that what Lei Bus is doing, good or bad for him, is what's best for Dami Group. Because, no matter who wins, Lei Bus or Lin Jianqing, Dami Group comes out on top in the end. Their struggle will quietly resolve, without any fallout. No harm done. Most people won't even know what happened. Thinking that far, every director in the meeting room couldn't help but look at Lei Bus with respect. At least right now, he's earned their full respect as a person. But when it comes to business, the directors here will still all side with Lin Jianqing in the end. Because from the moment Lei Bus brought out the wager agreement, not one director actually believed he could pull this off with just 10 million. In only 3 days. Even if Shenfei is crazy talented, even if people hype him up as a genius, they still don't think he can create an electric car that wows everyone. Lei, why do this to yourself? Sure, we have our differences. I'll admit it. I do want to be executive director of Dami, but I never wanted to push you out for good. Lin Jianqing's gaze kept shifting between Lei Bus and that agreement on the table, obviously hesitating. Lei Bus's move really shook him. Since day one at Xiaomi, Lin Jianqing knew Lei Bus was no easy opponent. Even with connections in Beijing, the background there still made Lei Bus wary. Over the years, at Xiaomi, Lei Bus pressured him at every turn. His old friends who joined other big companies around the same time are already in top positions, but he's still on the margins, never quite getting ahead. And now this bet from Lei Bus, in Lin Jianqing's eyes, is like Lei Bus's betting while still on top. He suddenly surrendered. Lin Jianqing found it hard to grasp. Society is developing so fast now. The next big trend is emerging. Maybe in 5 years, or maybe just 3, it will arrive. I don't want you or me to stall Dami's growth. I hope a century from now, they'll still lead this era. So all this was bound to happen. It's just a bit ahead of schedule. Facing Lin's heartfelt words, Lei Bus stopped being aggressive. The tension in the room seemed to vanish instantly. Lin stared blankly at Lei Bus, silent for over 10 seconds. Then he bowed slightly. Respectfully, he said, Mr. Lei, I am not as good as you. But don't worry, with Dami in my hands, I'll definitely take it further. Then, Lin stood up, took the betting agreement, and signed it decisively. As he stood tall, his face turned cold again. Mr. Lei, I truly respect you. But this time, you have no way to win. Just 2 hours before you ordered from that Shenfei, our Dami Auto made a major breakthrough. In 3 days, it will dominate the top of the EV market. Please, wait and see. With that, Lin turned and walked out. The other directors saw this, hesitated for a moment, then all left one by one. Soon, Lei Bus was alone in the room. After a chair scraped the floor, Lei Bus walked around the table to the floor-to-ceiling window. Looking down from here, the whole city was bustling. After staring for a long time, he whispered, Will I really lose? He is the most amazing youth I have ever seen. He feels so familiar, like my younger self. But I know he is far better than I was. While Lei Bus bet everything on Shenfei, inside the suburban shop, I had entered the super lab. Lei's order for me. Netizens already knew about it. They knew it was for an EV too. But the specific details were only known to me. Right now, standing in the lab's forest, I recalled Lei's long, 1,000-word order, and couldn't help but smirk. The first line of the order, Lei told me not to feel pressured. He knew that in just 3 days, making an eye-catching, new energy vehicle, was asking the impossible. Even if I failed, he wouldn't ask for the money back, nor would he announce my failure. Honestly, Lei is a class act. When I saw those words, I already wanted the job, and after reading his vision for the EV, I was completely in. Gear shafts, composites, costs, batteries, motors, controls, and the smart driving system. Mr. Lei, you're quite bold. It's a real challenge. But in my view, it's good, but just not good enough. Wait for my big surprise, Mr. Lei. After pondering, I opened the system mall and started picking the materials for the EV. Even though I admire Lei as an entrepreneur, I won't break the bank. Because there's one more crucial reason I took this job. The 9.99 million payment. If I work hard and save enough money, I can unlock phase 3. That's a huge temptation. After half an hour of picking, I finally finished selecting all the materials needed for this EV project. Total cost, $98,000. After paying, 9.89 million was still left. With points from HISIS, I have enough for phase 3. But I have to wait until this order is finished. Otherwise, with phase 3 military tech, I could have added some really hardcore features. But for now, I'll just use my imagination. And importantly, even though Lei said he wouldn't take the money back if the experiment fails, the system counts it as a loss. Then, even if I keep the cash, I won't get the upgrade points. Looks like I need to work hard. Luckily, time should be enough. I mumbled to myself, then focused all my energy on building the EV, while I worked day and night. Inside the super lab, the outside world was exploding. This was all because of the notice from Dami Group. In 3 days at Beishan Plaza, Dami Auto will join everyone to witness a miracle. Dami, born for enthusiasts. After the order news spread, countless netizens flocked to Dami's website. They wanted to know what Lei Bus was thinking. But unexpectedly, Dami dropped a bombshell. Am I in the wrong place? Is this a sci-fi movie set? I thought. Lei just wanted a car to play with. Who knew it'd be this big? 3 days? Only 3 days? That's too fast for a miracle. Since Dami announced it, let's just wait and see. We'll see the results in 3 days. Netizens were buzzing, assuming that at Beishan Plaza in 3 days, Dami Group would reveal the car Lei ordered from me. As for the bet between Lei and Lin, no one had a clue. Scenes like this are exactly what Lei Bus wants to see. No matter what happens in 3 days, whether Shenfei manages to build the car or not, Dami Group is already unbeatable. And because of me, everyone's now focused on Dami Group's new energy car launch. They're really interested now. Inside the suburban workshop, I'm totally unaware of what's happening outside. Right now, I'm fully invested in building this new energy car. Thanks to my experience making motorcycles before, constructing a car's frame isn't hard for me. After all, the two processes are pretty similar. Plus, with the help of the system's cutting-edge auto equipment, I don't have to do much at all. It's easy to get the materials to match the specs I want. So, in the super lab, I spent about 10 days, which is less than half a day outside. I got the basic car frame done and started assembling all the parts. This speed would shock even the top car companies in the world. They'd be blown away. Especially since I'm doing this without any templates, just basing the design on the best possible functionality for a car. After the basic build, what comes next are the finer details, like the 3 main parts of a new energy car: the battery, the motor, and the control system. Those components will determine how well Shenfei's new energy car performs. Compared to the first step, this part takes Shenfei more time, quite a bit longer. It took over 20 days to finish. But I finally got everything sorted. Now I've spent a month in the super lab, a full month here. And now, a complete new energy car is right in front of me. Just charge the battery up, and it'll be ready to hit the road. But I know, if I stop the experiment here, the system probably won't give me a passing grade for this experiment. Meaning, the system would call this experiment a failure. Because the order Lei Bus gave me, I've only done half so far. The car in front of me can only be considered a solid, regular car at best. It's definitely not a top-level new energy vehicle. It's missing the most important thing: The biggest selling point of new energy vehicles right now, which is the smart driving system. I take a deep breath. I know. Now the real challenge of this experiment begins. I adjusted my mindset. Once I felt mentally charged up, I dove right into developing the smart driving system. Time slipped away like sand through my fingers. It quietly passed by without notice. 3 days flew by just like that. Then, after breakfast on day 3, the huge plaza at the foot of Beishan was already packed with people. Colorful flags with Dami Group written on them were raised high, fluttering in the wind. You could spot them from hundreds of meters away. And it's not just regular folks. Everyone was hyped for this Dami event brewed for 3 days. The car launch event had caught a lot of interest. Even some business bigshots woke up early. Some sat in front of their TVs, waiting for Dami's press conference, for the live broadcast. Inside an old-style villa in Deep City, Ren Jichuan, chairman of Huawei Group, was making tea by hand, glancing at the screen from time to time. Dami Group's press conference, though not officially started yet, was already live on air. The crowd shown on screen looked even grander than Huawei's events. About this crowd, Ren Jichuan's little niece Jiang Qianqian couldn't help but pout. She said, "Uncle, this is just wild. I know Shenfei is famous and talented. He single-handedly built the fastest, most stable bike in the world. Made Chrysler Group chase him desperately. But Dami and our Huawei, clearly they're not on the same level right now. Anyone who didn't know better might think Dami is actually the top tech company in Dragon Country." Jiang Qianqian had an unhappy look on her face. Ren Jichuan doted on her, so she's always honest with him. Looking at his beloved niece, Ren Jichuan couldn't help but shake his head and laugh. "Qianqian, watch this live stream closely today. I bet you'll learn a lot. Dami might not be bigger than Huawei, but when it comes to talent, 10 of your uncles can't compare to one Lei Bus," Ren Jichuan said seriously. Maybe he's trying to be humble, but it's obvious. He holds Lei Bus in very high regard. Practically the highest. Jiang Qianqian, hearing that, her pretty big eyes immediately started sparkling. She shook Ren Jichuan's arm sweetly and said in a cute voice, "Uncle, did you figure something out? Come on, tell me, tell me." Ren Jichuan heard her and glanced at his niece with a helpless look. He took a sip of tea, then said, okay. So, your Uncle Lei's move here is clearly leveraging hype. Leverage hype. Jiang Qianqian tilted her head, her face full of confusion. Ren Jichuan paused, took a breath, then continued, "Qianqian, actually, you've already noticed. Just like you said, Dami isn't nearly Huawei's size right now. No comparison. But why is Dami's car launch today bigger than our recent GJS7 unveiling? Why the bigger splash? It's all because Lei Bus is riding the wave stirred up by that guy Shenfei." And wrapping up the point, Ren Jichuan looked deep and thoughtful at the screen in front of him. On the screen, the official start of the launch event was less than 5 minutes away. Jiang Qianqian next to him, hearing that, her bright eyes went wide right away. "Uncle, you're saying Lei Bus ordered from Shenfei, not really expecting him to build a new energy vehicle in just 3 days? A car? He just wants to use Shenfei's hype and popularity to draw attention to their Dami car." Ren Jichuan heard her, smiled and nodded. "Qianqian, you nailed it. When this news broke, a bunch of fellow entrepreneurs reached out to me, asking what Lei Bus was thinking. Even heads from Weilai and BYD. I just shot back with one question, and they got it. When they develop cars, how much time did they spend? And how much cash did they pour in? Cars aren't like computers or bikes. They're way more complicated. Especially new energy vehicles. That young guy Shenfei is impressive, but building a new energy car in 3 days, that's impossible. Still, I really like Shenfei. Kids with such strong tech are rare these days. Really rare. I've asked Huawei's HR to send Shenfei a job offer. Bet he'll be interested." Mentioning Shenfei, even Ren Jichuan showed deep appreciation in his eyes. Obvious admiration. Jiang Qianqian heard all that, and her curiosity couldn't be held back. After all, she knows her uncle is known for being generous. "Uncle, what kind of offer did you make to Shenfei?" Ren Jichuan heard her, looked at Jiang Qianqian and asked, "Wanna know?" "Uncle, of course I wanna know." Seeing Jiang Qianqian nodding like a pecking chick, Ren Jichuan didn't keep her in suspense. "The offer I made Shenfei included a share of Huawei and at least 300 million annual salary. Plus, the pay rises by no less than 10% a year for 4 years. Ren Jichuan's voice rang through the room. Jiang Qianqian's face went completely stunned. She guessed Ren Jichuan would offer Shenfei a high price, but didn't expect it to be this sky high. Forget the rest. Just that 300 million salary. Could hire a full team of top tech talents, a 30-person mid-sized group. She stayed speechless for a few seconds, until not far away, the Dami launch was officially announced on screen, and Jiang Qianqian snapped out of her shock. She and Renjichuan together looked up to watch the live stream, muttering under her breath, unless Shenfei is blind, there's no way he'd say no to such an offer. Dami Group's car launch officially kicked off. Over 5 million viewers rushed into the live stream all at once. The chat was instantly flooded with comments. But the Dami stream managers were a bit stunned by the back-end numbers. At the same time, there were thousands of messages mentioning Dami. Seemed like plenty, but the ones mentioning Shenfei. But there are actually 70 or 80,000 of them. Although the staff at Dami Group were already mentally prepared, they still never expected that the people coming to see them at the Dami Group new energy car launch would mostly be here for Shenfei. While viewers in the live stream room were super hyped, on the other side, Lei Busi had already walked onto the stage. He greeted the audience in person, then briefly announced the event was officially starting. After that, Lei Busi handed over the spotlight to Lin Jianqing. Lin Jianqing then walked to the center of the stage with a mic in hand, and got straight to the point. I know why you're all here today, so I won't keep you guessing. Next, let's bring out the star of today's show. As soon as Lin Jianqing finished speaking, all 5 live stream cameras immediately turned to the side. A sleek, gorgeous-looking car appeared, driven by staff from Dami Group, heading straight for the stage. Lin Jianqing looked at the car, his eyes full of confidence and pride. Once the car reached center stage, Lin Jianqing grabbed the mic and started talking about the car's features. He covered everything from the interior to the exterior, and from range to hardware specs. Every time Lin Jianqing paused, the audience would break into loud applause. Many industry insiders listened to his intro and couldn't help nodding again and again. They felt like this car's features really stand out. It's definitely top tier among current new energy cars. Meanwhile, millions watching online were going totally crazy. For once, Bro Fei didn't scam Lei Busi's money. This looks like they really put in the work on the looks and interior. Yi Qingjian Bro Fei, he's not the same Bro Fei anymore. Well, what can I say? Even though this car is solid, it just doesn't wow me. Looks basically like most other new energy vehicles. Bro Fei, always better at computers and motorcycles, not cars. Only had 3 days. Bro Fei being able to give Lei Busi this kind of car in just 3 days is good enough. Wait, something's off. Look at the big screen, guys. Looks like this car wasn't made by Bro Fei. Just as millions in the live stream were chatting, debate was exploding among the viewers. Then the massive LED screen on stage flickered, and suddenly lines of text and images appeared. Lin Jianqing turned to the sea of faces below, smiled and said, "Everyone, this car released by Dami Group is named the S7. I led the Dami Group's car division through 300 days and nights, putting my heart and soul into developing Dami's first generation new energy car. I know it might have some flaws, and isn't quite on the very top tier of today's new energy vehicles, but I hope you'll give us some time. With a little time, Dami cars will have even bigger surprises for you." As soon as Lin Jianqing finished, some loyal Dami fans in the audience started clapping right away. In a villa in the city, Renjichuan watched the live stream with a look that said he understood everything and said, "Qianqian, did you get it now? This Dami S7 is just average. Getting this much attention is a feat itself. If things keep going like this, Dami cars might not sell like crazy, but at least they're breaking into the new energy car market. Your Uncle Lei really is a marketing genius, right? If it weren't for his idea to use Shenfei to grab all this attention, Dami cars probably wouldn't even get a splash. No one would care. Alright, you keep watching. Uncle has some things to do. I won't stay here with you." As Renjichuan was talking, he started to get up to leave. But just then, from the screen, a question suddenly sounded. About Mr. Lei ordering a car from Shenfei. That's all over the internet these past 3 days. Everyone thought this launch event was going to show off the car built by Mr. Shenfei. But from start to finish, this press conference had nothing to do with Mr. Shenfei. So may I ask, did Mr. Shenfei fail? He wasn't able to deliver the car you wanted in 3 days? A reporter at the event asked this seriously with the mic. Renjichuan, who'd just gotten up, saw this and hesitated a bit, then sat back down. Meanwhile, in the venue and the live stream room, viewers really interested in the answer immediately perked up their ears. Lin Jianqing just smiled calmly when he heard the question. Then, He turned to face Lei Busi in the audience. I think this question should be answered personally by Mr. Lei. Lin Jianqing looked at Lei Busi with a victorious grin he couldn't hide. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone in the place looked straight at Lei Busi. Lei Busi let out a quiet sigh, then relaxed his face, like he was completely ready for this situation. But just then, a chugging, like the sound of a tractor driving over, suddenly broke the silence. The sudden tractor sound left everyone a bit stunned. After all, this is a high-tech new energy vehicle launch. A tractor noise in this setting is just way off. After snapping out of it, everyone together turned their heads toward the source of the sound. They saw a tractor belching black smoke had stopped at the far east end of the plaza. Next, the rattling tractor door was opened from inside. A tanned old man climbed down from it. Seeing so many people staring, the old man looked a little nervous. But then he seemed to recall something. He suddenly shouted, "That's Boss Lei. That's Boss Lei's place. A boss named Shen told me to bring your car here." The gruff voice of the old farmer echoed through the venue. Everyone instinctively looked at the tractor's bed. Through the gaps in the pile of firewood in the back of the tractor, they could just make out the corner of a car. When Lei Busi realized what was happening, he immediately walked over to the old man. "I'm the boss Lei you're looking for. Sir, did Mr. Shenfei ask you to bring me this car? Is it that one behind you?" Right now, Lei Bu's excitement was all over his face. He might have been a bit late, but at least Shenfei made it with the car in the end. He actually got the car here just in time. But just as Lei Bu was talking, getting ready to step forward, heading towards the back of the tractor's bed, that dark-skinned old man suddenly blocked Mr. Lei Bu. "You can't see it yet. Not right now, you can't look yet. You haven't paid the delivery fee. I drove for hours to get it here for you. I really put in several hours to deliver this car. Mr. Shen told me to collect the delivery fee from you," the old man quickly explained. Hearing this, even Lei Bu was stunned for a second. And the millions watching the live stream just lost it and started cracking up. "I'm not joking. I just took a sip and spit my water out right away. Haha, I can't handle this. Let me laugh for 3 minutes. Using a tractor to deliver Lei Bu's car is one thing, but then making him pay the shipping fee at delivery. No one else would ever do this. That signature style. That same classic vibe. Feej is really still Feej. Guys, look at this. Lei Bu's doubting life right now. This feels so good, guys. I'm done, this is perfect. This is exactly the feeling. Everyone in the live stream is losing it. And the whole scene bursts into laughter. Only the old man is watching Lei Bu carefully, looking like he won't let him see the car until he pays. Lei Bu came back to reality, and his eyes started twitching hard. Then he waved back at someone behind him. A woman who looked like his secretary hurried over. She pulled a few $100 in cash from her wallet and handed it to the old man. Then the old man smiled and led Lei Bu over, heading to the back of the truck bed. After a moment, the old man dropped the truck bed railing, so everyone could finally get a better look at the new energy vehicle Shenfei built. But once they saw what it looked like, everyone at the scene froze for a second, because it looked nothing like other EVs on the market. The style was totally different. Take a close look. It kind of resembles the old AE86 that was discontinued years ago. Is Fei a fan of Fujiwara Takumi? So he made a car that looks like an AE86? All I can say is, when I saw this car, I instantly felt that retro vibe. I actually kinda like it. Alright, I think Fei's being a typical shrewd businessman. Either he just didn't want the hassle, or he was trying to save money. So he went straight for a beat-up old used car, then turned it into a new energy car. Haha, it really look alike. Bro upstairs. You really know Fei well. While the audience was busy chatting, on the other side, Lei Bus couldn't wait to climb onto the tractor's bed. All 5 live camera angles were focused right on the car I built. Not far away, someone just got off stage. Lin Jianqing was looking over this way. His face showed he didn't care at all. Next to him, a few Dami Group board members stood. At this moment, they were already congratulating Lin Jianqing early. Congratulations, Chairman Lin. The Dami S7 you led the team to create has been a total success today. That's right, from now on, our Dami can finally say we've officially entered the world of new energy cars. Chairman Lin deserves all the credit. Hey, I just checked. Our Dami Group's stock price, in just the last few minutes, went up by 0.05%. I can already picture Dami, under Chairman Lin, climbing to even greater heights. The board members gathered around Lin Jianqing, all grinning big. And as Lin Jianqing heard all these praises, the wrinkles at the corner of his eyes were pressed down by his smile. He slightly lifted his chin, glanced toward Lei Bus and said, "Everyone. It's too early to say any of this right now. We still haven't seen the car that Lei spent 10 million to have Shenfei make." It wasn't Lin Jianqing who was smiling and chatting, but the disdain in his eyes was obvious if you looked closely. And just then, something was happening over at Lei Bus's car. As noise erupted, Lin Jianqing squinted and looked over. Meanwhile, Lei Bus used the car key Shenfei left to open the door. The interior was just like most new energy cars. Nothing really different. But the issue happened. Right when Lei tried to start the car was still on the tractor trailer. Support was already set up, ready to drive down right after starting. But when Lei pressed the start button, the car didn't react at all. Seeing this, spectators on-site and online immediately started talking. "Damn, did Fei mess up? Why won't the car start? Guess 3 days was really too short. Fei probably missed something. That's it, Fei's reputation is ruined. The car won't even start. What's the point then? Now I feel relieved, finally balanced. Otherwise, compared to Fei, I always felt like such a loser." The place was full of noise. Lei Bus was frowning, checking the car, trying to figure out what went wrong. With his tech background, he actually knows a thing or two about cars. Not as much as some high-end experts, but way better than most people. Now, checking deeper. As he checked, Lei Bus soon couldn't keep it together. The car had no power. Lei Bus slumped back in the seat. Even he couldn't help cursing. You could see several black lines appear on his forehead. And his voice got broadcasted through the live feed. Suddenly, all the noise disappeared. Beishan Plaza, so huge, fell totally silent. The silence lasted for several seconds. Then the site burst out laughing. A bunch of people were doubled over. Couldn't even stand up straight. Just couldn't straighten themselves. Some people were laughing so hard they were tearing up. Many had only heard of Shenfei's reputation as a shark, but never had a real idea. Today, they finally got to see it firsthand. And online, all those fans here for Shenfei were having the time of their lives. "I can't take it. Let me catch my breath. I'm laughing to death here. Same old vibe. Same old routine. Definitely still the same shrewd boss. I thought Fei wouldn't even give a tank of gas. My little sister's family had it rough enough. But Lei Bus's situation turned out even sadder. Fei didn't even bother with a full charge. A $10 million order. But wouldn't spend $30 on electricity. Looking across the whole business circle. This is truly wild. Everyone else treats customers like kings. But Fei treats himself like the king. Bet Lei never expected. His reputation wouldn't do him any good with Fei. He'd still get played just the same. No doubt about it. Didn't you see Lei was totally thrown off? Only Fei could make a billionaire lose his cool. Seriously, only Fei. Leaning back in the car seat, Lei Bus was feeling super complicated right now. Thinking back about all those order requests he made to Shenfei, Lei Bus wasn't sure he could hope for much. But just then, Lei Bus's phone beeped. He instinctively checked it, and was instantly caught off guard. Lei Bus had thought it was a business partner texting him. But turns out, Shenfei sent him an order receipt through the Shark platform. And once Lei Bus finished reading Shenfei's message, his brows immediately furrowed tight. "Shenfei, what are you trying to pull? Is there even anything to compare here?" Lei Bus quietly whispered to himself. Then, he fell silent. A dozen seconds later, Dami Group staff brought over the mobile charging station. Only then did Lei Bus snap out of it. He came back to himself. Well, at this point, all I can do is trust Shenfei. Lei Bus took a deep breath, then got out of the car. Right after, he whispered a few words to his secretary and started walking toward the edge of the venue. The audience thought Lei Bus was upset with me and left in anger. They immediately started talking again. That female secretary saw things getting out of hand, so she quickly stepped up to explain. "Our Dami Group's launch isn't over. Lei just told me. After the battery is fully charged, the official presentation will begin. Mr. Shenfei built this car for our Dami Group. Please bear with us a little longer." After speaking, the secretary stepped aside and started monitoring the car's charging process. Over 10,000 people are here today, and millions are watching the live stream. After the secretary said this, everyone chose to just wait patiently. If it was any other company, making everyone wait over half an hour at a launch event, many people probably would have left early. But thanks to me, everyone has been extremely patient. About 20 minutes later, a loud roar of engines suddenly erupted. People were starting to get bored waiting. But hearing the thunderous engines, a lot of folks immediately turned to look. They saw At the open area of the North Mountain Plaza entrance, a line of supercars suddenly drove out one after another, all of them parked neatly there. From a quick glance, there were at least a dozen of them. Among them were top-tier supercars like Ferrari and Lamborghini. Seriously eye-catching. People say sports cars are the ultimate dream for men. Seeing this lineup, everyone's attention was instantly drawn. Many quickly took out their phones to snap photos. And while everyone was focused on these top supercars, Lebusie's voice suddenly boomed through the speakers. Coming up next, I invite you to enjoy a racing spectacle. These are all specially gathered by Dami Group, the world's top supercar series. And their drivers are all pro racers. Lebusie's voice echoed across the plaza. Cheers erupted instantly in the crowd. No one expected such an epic show today. Millions watching the live stream couldn't hold back their excitement either. Damn, Bosley never disappoints. Whenever there's a product launch, he goes all out. Listening to those engines roar makes my blood pump. But wait, isn't this a Dami new energy vehicle launch? Bringing a bunch of gas-powered supercars to race. Is that really okay? What exactly is Bosley thinking? Is he afraid the Dami car will sell too well? Come on, why are we even worrying? Just enjoy the show. Hold up, damn. Wait, check this out. Am I seeing things? Livestream viewers got all hyped up, while people at the event started freaking out. The crowd on site had their expressions frozen in disbelief. Over at the starting line to North Mountain's winding road, dozens of supercars sat roaring. Their engines sounded like beasts ready to pounce. And right then, Lebusie drove Shinfei's custom car right into the middle of the supercar lineup. That scene hit everyone hard, like a flock of iron beasts, with a little lamb mixed in, one that can't even make a sound. After just a second of silence, the noise exploded out like a tidal wave. Honey, damn, slap me real quick. It's broad daylight. Why am I seeing things? Ow, nope, it's real. Is Bosley out of his mind? Let me think. Let me figure this out. Dozens of supercars, racing. Bosley is joining with a new energy car. Lamborghini, Ferrari, Koenigsegg. If Bosley even sees their exhaust fumes, I'll admit defeat. All I can say is, I give full marks to this show from Bosley. Definitely the wildest car launch I've ever seen. Seriously, this event takes the cake. It's not just regular folks getting stunned. Even Lin Jianqing up on the stands, and all Dami Group's board members, were totally shocked. It took a few seconds before Lin Jianqing was the first to snap back. He wiped the corner of his eye and said, Bosley, are you trying to prove that car is useless? To highlight how amazing our S7 is? Enough, Bosley. I've already done enough for Dami Group. No matter what, you stay on as Dami Group's executive director or not. In my heart, you'll always deserve respect. Lin Jianqing spoke with emotion. Genuinely touched. He really seemed moved by Lebusie. Hearing Lin Jianqing say this, the other directors immediately caught on. Oh, so that's what this is about. The bigger Bosley makes the event, the better our SU7 will sell. I have to say, Chairman Lin really sees things clearly. With just one look, he figured out the real reason. Dami will only get bigger under Chairman Lin's lead. And stronger. And hit new highs. With Chairman Lin and the others watching, the race on the other side started counting down. A dozen supercars revved up, ready to go. The roar was deafening. By comparison, the Shinfei new energy car driven by Lebusie looked like a lamb about to be slaughtered, just waiting to get flattened by the supercars. Finally, the countdown ended. Gunshots sounded to start the race. All the supercars shot out at once. The explosive start made the crowd go wild. Then everyone focused on Lebusie's car, and laughter filled the air. New energy cars accelerate faster than most fuel cars, but that's only compared to regular gas vehicles. Against these real supercars, it's just not the same league. Just the start alone, Lebusie was left dozens of meters behind. A few more seconds passed. Lebusie couldn't see even the supercar's exhaust fumes. But at that moment, Lebusie, as Dami Group's chairman, really stood out. The drone crew filming the race knew their job. Out of 5 tracking drones, 2 of them followed right behind Lebusie's car. So Lebusie kept driving, and finally arrived at the first turn on North Mountain's winding road. Both the on-site and live stream audience had their eyes glued right on the huge LED screen in the plaza. The tracking drone footage showed everything clearly up there. Of course, everyone was focused on the supercars. When it came to Lebusie, almost no one cared. People just glanced over and went right back to watching the supercars speeding. But just at that moment, Everyone's eyes were locked in place. Some people at the scene couldn't hold it in. And actually screamed in disbelief. On the screen, the car Lei Boss was driving was already going 120 kilometers per hour. Not as fast as those supercars. But definitely not slow either. You know, on most highways, that's pretty much the top speed allowed. And at this crazy speed, Lei Boss just took a corner right on the edge. Not even a second passed. And he cleared that curved corner. Guys, am I seeing this right? Lei is really not slowing down for turns. Damn, I'm just stunned. Why does it feel like Lei Boss took that turn? Even faster than the pro drivers in supercars? No need to guess. He is faster than those supercars. I was timing it the whole time. The fastest out of those supercars was the Koenigsegg. It took 12 seconds to pass that first turn. And Lei Boss friggin' did it in 6. That's twice as fast. Man, I thought Lei was showing off the car. But turns out he's showing off his driving. All I can say is, from now on, Lei Boss is my #1 driving idol. People in the live stream chat couldn't stop talking. Everyone shifted their focus, all at once, to the footage of Lei Boss behind the wheel. And as time went on, everyone was getting more and more shocked. At first, everyone thought Lei Boss not slowing down for corners and breezing through was already insane. But nobody expected that was just the start. Man, downshifting, left foot braking, trail braking, Scandinavian flick, drift start. Excuse me, is Lei Boss really not a retired F1 driver? That's already crazy. But it feels like he's just getting started. He shifts the weight so the front end lifts a bit, sets up for a passing line, and squeezes the wheel for a sharp countersteer, all to control tire wear. The craziest part is, Lei Boss can drift just by using inertia. Feels like his driving skills could go toe-to-toe with Takumi from Initial D. Seriously. I'm calling him Lei Fujiwara now. The livestream chat just exploded at this point. No one saw it coming. That this is what the race would look like. Among all those supercars and pro drivers, Lei Boss somehow became the real main character. And the mountain roads around Beishan are famous for all those crazy curves. Lei Boss, driving that car, with all those wild techniques, jumped from dead last, straight to first place. And now he's almost a whole kilometer ahead of second place. All those pro drivers Lei Boss passed just stared at that electric car, not even seeing its tail lights. Totally dumbfounded. Lei Boss, are you really the pro here or am I? And is it me driving the supercar or you? Back at Beishan Square, it was dead silent. Not a sound could be heard. Everyone just looked starstruck, staring up at Lei Boss's car on the giant LED screen. On the screen above, in the crowd, Lin Jianqing and the Daimi Group board members exchanged looks with each other. They all saw the confusion in each other's eyes. When did Boss Lei learn to drive like that? Who knows? You know how Boss Lei has tons of hobbies. Maybe he learned ages ago. I feel like when Boss Lei retires, he could totally go pro at racing. I'll book the whole venue next time and treat everyone to watch. Ha ha ha, Lao Sun. You said it. When the time comes, let's all go as a group to watch Boss Lei race. Alright, that's enough, everyone. Boss Lei's driving skills are amazing. But don't you think? This isn't better than the pros, right? All those racers were invited by Boss Lei. Who knows how hard they really went? After Lin Jianqing said that last bit, everyone nodded in agreement. At that moment, at the foot of Beishan, Lei Busi was driving the car, and slowly came into everyone's view. This side was calm, but the tens of thousands watching live were totally not calm at all. Lei Busi hadn't even stopped his car yet, when waves of cheers filled the air above the square. But no one knew that Lei Busi, still in the driver's seat, already looked utterly shocked. Staring at the wheel in front of him, he couldn't help swallowing hard. His face was full of disbelief. That look lasted for over 2 minutes. Not until the other drivers also circled Beishan and finished the race did Lei Busi let out a deep breath, slowly open the door, and step out. The moment he got out, the pro drivers crowded over. Boss Lei, are you kidding us? Hosting a Beishan race, calling us all here, with the first prize at 5 million. We all gave it all we had. But who could have guessed? You were the real pro hiding in plain sight. Your driving's almost F1 level. We just can't keep up, not a chance. The racers said this with forced smiles, and in their eyes, you could see mad respect for Lei Busi's driving. As the saying goes, amateurs just watch for fun. Pros look at the technique. Even for pros like them, Lei Busi's skills were totally mind-blowing. Especially back when Lei Busi overtook them. The moves were so slick, it left them all stunned. If the pros were that impressed by Lei Busi's driving, then of course the average people were even more blown away. Over 10,000 onlookers instantly crowded around. They shouted out, "Boss Lay, you're way too hardcore. That race was better than any Hollywood movie. Boss Lay, do you take students? I really want to learn to drive from you. Boss Lay, teach a driving course. I'll learn on my knees. Boss Lay, Boss Lay, I want to have your babies." The crowd was beyond hyped. Their shouts got crazier and crazier. Lay Bussy accepted the mic from his secretary. He cleared his throat a bit. Instantly, the noise died down a lot. Then, under everyone's excited gaze, Lay Bussy asked slowly, "So what do you guys think?" As he spoke, Lay Bussy slowly pointed to the side. Following his finger, everyone turned to look. And when they realized he meant the car made by Shinfei, people were just about to comment, when suddenly, there was a sputtering sound. They saw the car's 4 tires, with 3 suddenly splitting apart. Even the last one went crooked. And that wasn't all. Crackling sounds came from inside the car, followed by a loud noise. It seemed like the electric motor burned out. After 1 second of silence at the scene, everyone burst out laughing. How much did Shinfei rip off Boss Lay for? Didn't even charge the battery, fine. But the quality is just awful. First time I've seen a new car fall apart after just 1 race. Boss Lay really had some serious luck, huh? Yeah, no kidding. I bet Boss Lay's legs are probably shaking now. If something had gone wrong during the race, we'd only be able to visit Boss Lay at his grave. That car Shinfei made totally limited Boss Lay's skills. If he'd driven a real supercar, I can't even imagine what a show it would have been. Boss Lay, do another run. Try with that Koenigsegg this time. Yeah, Boss Lay, please. People in the crowd all started shouting again. Not far off, Lin Jianqing and the other board members looked at the nearly wrecked car and couldn't help but laugh and shake their heads. Only Lay Bussy stared at the car without looking surprised at all. Looks like everyone's not too impressed with this car. How about this? Let me show you all something. Lao Zhang, put the video from my phone up on the big screen. As Lay Bussy spoke, he handed his phone to his secretary. Even now, deep in Lay Bussy's eyes, there was still a bit of lingering shock. The pretty secretary quickly nodded. Then she took his phone and started to walk off. People in the crowd and watching at home were all stunned for a moment. Clearly, no one got what Lay Bussy was up to. Trying to be patient, everyone fixed their eyes on that huge LED screen. Once the secretary set it up, a video popped right up on screen. Wow, this is Boss Lay inside the car. Now this is going to be interesting. I've got to see this. I really want to know how Boss Lay did that. Boss Lay's awesome. That maneuver is something I gotta learn for real. Man, forget you learning it. See those pro racers over there? They're all pulling out their phones seriously and recording it. Everyone stared at the big screen, not even daring to blink, afraid they'd miss any cool moment. Meanwhile, on the screen, the engine roars of a dozen sports cars were already starting up. Clearly, it was just about to start. On camera, Lay Bussy wasn't even holding the wheel. He just tapped the main control screen with a finger. The next second, a pleasant woman's voice prompt came right from the big screen and reached the crowd and every viewer online. Ding-ling. You have selected full auto self-driving mode. Please fasten your seatbelt. That chime was incredibly pleasant. But right now, those 2 sentences hit like thunder. It stunned everyone like a bomb in their ears. Everyone's faces froze. Not far away, Lin Jianqing and the other Demi Group board members looked completely shocked, wondering if they heard wrong. Fully intelligent self-driving. So what really challenged the pro racers and supercars wasn't Mr. Lay, but the car itself. A middle-aged board member couldn't help swallowing. He gulped. His voice shook. It's shocking that so many new energy vehicles today claim to have self-driving features. But deep down, we all know, current so-called autopilot is still at the testing phase. At best, it's just assisted driving. It basically just avoids obstacles. Maybe does emergency braking. Like when Lin Jianqing just announced the Demi S7, which could drive itself to center stage. That was already impressive. When Lin Jianqing showed it off before, the audience cheered wildly, and applause erupted. That says a lot. But what did we just hear? It sounds unreal. A fully automatic smart driving feature. All it did was have Lay Bus fasten his seatbelt. If that last race was really all thanks to Shinfei's design, and the car itself, and Lay Bus never even touched the wheel, then honestly, they have no idea what kind of wave Shinfei's car will bring to the new energy auto world. The impact will be huge. Compared to this car, all those so-called self-driving new energy vehicles would be completely outclassed. No way. That's just impossible. At most. It should also just be some kind of assisted driving. There's no way. A car did all that by itself. How could this tech even exist now? Not even another 10 years would make it real. When Lin Jianqing snapped out of it, he blurted out in shock. Compared to the other directors, he knows just how crazy this all is. Director Lin, don't be so anxious. Let's just see what's really going on. At that moment, another board member squinted and spoke up. When he said that, Lin Jianqing pursed his lips, then stared at the big screen, frowning hard. The regular viewers, after getting over their shock, were already staring intensely at the screen. Then on the giant LED screen, the race footage started. After Lei Bus buckled in, he just leaned back comfortably in the seat, not doing anything else. Soon the straightaway ended, and the camera moved to the first turn. At that moment, everyone held their breath without realizing it. 0.6 seconds passed, in the blink of an eye. And when those 0.6 seconds rolled by on screen, all they could see in their minds made everyone's scalp tingle. A chill rushed from their feet, straight up to their heads. I'm numb. My whole body's numb. If I'm not mistaken, from start to finish, Mr. Lei didn't even have a finger on the wheel. That insane turn with no slowdown. The car really did it all by itself. Did you see Mr. Lei's face just now? He looked just as surprised. Damn, who wouldn't be scared by that? I've never heard of a car racing on its own. The live stream chat just exploded. Everyone was stunned by what they saw. And it wasn't over yet. One curve after another. With each passing, downshifting, perfect braking. Micro-press pendulum drift, FR center shift. To keep the front end up and open an overtaking line. Tight space turning to countersteer on the spot. Controlling tire wear this way. Using inertial drifting. These are moves even pro drivers find hard to pull off. A whole crowd of viewers just watched a car do all of that on its own. The more they saw, the more shocked everyone was. Especially at 10:08 in the race. That friendly alert sounded again. Ding. Tire and motor have surpassed safe load. Estimated failure in 8 minutes and 7 seconds. All other parts are fine. You can keep driving safely. Hearing those words from the big screen's alerts, everyone couldn't help swallowing hard, gulping twice. So the tire and motor problems were already detected by the car. Even the times were calculated down to the second. During the whole race, there was pretty much zero risk. I'm totally convinced, damn. I give up. It's unreal. I thought an 800 plus km/h bike was Fiji's limit. But after just 3 days, Fiji blew my mind again. Fiji's like a legend to me now, for the nth time. From computers to bikes to new energy cars. Where is Fiji's limit? Never thought one person could be this incredible. Is it too late for me to start studying now? First time I really felt the power of knowledge and tech. Some folks guessed Fiji's already 60. I say there's no way he's under 80. He must have spent his life mastering all kinds of tech to pull this off. The live stream is about to hit 10 million viewers. Everyone's chatting nonstop. And no one can stop now. Watching the big screen. With that car still in full autopilot mode. Was like seeing Ultraman for real. Like seeing the light. And it wasn't just regular viewers shocked to the core. Even all the business big shots watching the stream were left speechless. In a private deep city villa, Ren Jichuan stared at everything unfolding. And couldn't help breathing harder. A while back, Huawei had just launched their own new energy car. The Zhejiang S9 made waves the second it launched, crushing all the new energy cars out there. With its self-driving tech, it made it to the very top of the line. But right now, comparing the Zhejiang S9 self-driving to Shenfei's car, Ren Jichuan just didn't know what to say. Their Zhejiang S9, is that even still self-driving? It's like a kid's toy now. And then he remembered asking Huawei HR to offer Shenfei a 300 million annual salary. Ren Jichuan felt his face burning. Huawei spent over 20 billion on R&D just to barely make the Zhejiang S9. But the car Shenfei built by himself can totally crush their Zhejiang S9. The value of Shenfei alone is way more than all those highly paid masters and PhDs. It's not even close. It's scary how much more. Ren Jichuan thinks it's not just about slapping Shenfei in the face, but slapping himself too. Qianshan's uncle really messed up this time. He screwed up big time. From the start, this wasn't Lei Buxi's marketing show. It was Shenfei's solo performance. I really underestimated Shenfei. Just him alone is worth as much as countless top R&D teams. Having someone like him in Dragon Country is real luck for the whole nation and its people. After a bitter smile, Ren Jichuan's face lit up with excitement. At this point, whether or not Shenfei joins Huawei seriously doesn't matter to him anymore. What makes him happy is Shenfei is from Dragon Country. As for Jiang Qianqian sitting by his side, she totally tuned out Renjichuan's words long ago. Now, she's just staring straight at the screen. With stars in her eyes. She's totally become a super fangirl. On the big screen. After the 10+ minute video finished, everyone's attention once again turned to the car I built. The first applause broke the silence. And right after that, it triggered a chain reaction. In one breath, the crowd exploded in applause. Everyone looked at that car and felt a glorious era for new energy vehicles is about to begin. Just then, inside the car with ruined tires and a burnt motor, that beautiful notification again popped up. Ding ding, there's also a voicemail here. Please check it, car owner. Mailbox access passed. Now autoplaying the mail for the owner. The sudden sound made everyone freeze for a second. And before anyone could react, a magnetic voice came out from the car. Hello, Mr. Lei. This is Shenfei. You probably heard this too. I only sell products, not patents. If you can figure them out, just give me some patent fees and that's good. But for this first-gen new energy car I call Damisu Guang, I'll sell you some patents. Because lately, I'm kind of low on cash. If you think it over, Mr. Lei, you can reach out to me via order receipt. After I finished speaking, my words echoed across the whole square. The whole place went dead silent. Then, after a moment, millions watching live totally lost it. Damn, where's your shame? Shen the scammer. How do you even dare say something so outrageous? I'm cracking up here. Anyone can be broke. But you, the king of scammers, claim you're out of cash? You're kidding, right? Wait, is that really Brother Fei's voice? Why does he sound so young? Bro, you just blew my mind. That voice can't be older than 20. Come on, quit kidding around. Like, around 20 years old? Did Brother Fei start researching in the womb or what? I could accept Fei being 80. But if he's 20, how am I supposed to live? Compared to him? Aren't I just a total loser? I can already see today's top trending search. Research genius is only 20 years old. At 20, Brother Fei is Rebus's partner. While at 20, I only know Maka Paka. Ugh, guys, stop talking. My mom is watching the stream too. She looks at the screen. Then she looks at me. And I see murder in her eyes. After a voice clip accidentally leaked my age, everyone started to lose it. As for Rebus, he was grinning from ear to ear. I only sell products, not patents, he knows that, of course. Rebus originally planned to use me to gain absolute control of the group, and then lead the R&D team himself. To study the car I built for him day and night. Who would have thought? I'd just hand him such a massive gift? With my help? Rebus believes the first generation Dami Light will soon be ready for mass production. Right now, he feels the name Light is just too perfect. This car is a ray of light in the EV world. And I am the light in Rebus's life, completely illuminating him and the Dami group. Thinking of this, Rebus hurried to contact me. But just then, a heavy set of footsteps suddenly rang out. Rebus looked back and saw Lin Jianqing walking up behind him. CEO Lei, congratulations. Lin Jianqing's face held a hint of bitterness, mixed with lingering disbelief. He really never imagined that Rebus could rely on just me to defeat the entire Dami R&D department. And it was a total, undisputed slaughter. No need to be so discouraged. The one who beat you isn't me, it's that genius boy. People say my life has been a legend. But compared to that kid, I feel like he's the real legend. Rebus looked at Lin Jianqing and spoke from the heart. Hearing this, Lin Jianqing's expression froze for a moment. Then he shook his head with a wry smile. CEO Lei, you misunderstand. I'm not discouraged. It was a fair loss. Shenfei is amazing. So amazing my heart actually trembles. But your choice was also amazing. Now I understand. You're not just Dami's founder. You're the most suitable leader for it. CEO Lei, until we meet again. As he finished, Lin Jianqing bowed slightly to Rebus and turned to leave. Rebus watched him, hesitated for a second, and couldn't help asking, what's next for you? Rebus didn't try to play nice and keep him. Just as if he had failed, Lin Jianqing wouldn't have kept him either. In business, they were enemies and competitors. But in some aspects, Rebus still admired Lin Jianqing. At least in EV technology, Lin Jianqing was much stronger than him. The S7 only lost to Shenfei, not to any other electric vehicles. I want to go back to the research institute. CEO Lei, you know, my family has some influence in Beijing. I used to be devoted to R&D there. But then I found it boring and lost interest. But today, Shenfei showed me what real research looks like. I think I'll spend the rest of my life dedicated to scientific research. If I can achieve even a little bit, this life will be worth it. Lin Jianqing spoke seriously, as if he had already made up his mind. Hearing this, Rebus stared at Lin Jianqing, a flash of respect appearing in his eyes. Good luck. Haha, thanks, CEO Lei. In the future, if there's time, I hope we can sit down for tea. With those final words, Lin Jianqing looked at the scene, without a hint of regret. He turned around, waved at Rebus, and walked away with style. Rebus, watching Lin Jianqing's receding back, pursed his lips, and finally whispered to himself, every researcher deserves respect. But most of them spend their whole lives remaining unknown. Few can produce results like Shenfei. Jianqing, I hope in your long research career ahead, you can keep a level head. After all, a freak like Shenfei only comes around once. With Lin Jianqing's departure, and Rebus's reflections, the Dami Group's press conference finally came to a successful close, and the name Shenfei once again dominated the trending lists. Every news section and front page was taken over by the light EV. People have seen EVs before. They've seen EVs with assisted driving too. But a fully autonomous racing EV? People hadn't even dreamed of that. So, many who missed the live stream saw the video of the Beishan Square race and were instantly blown away. No one ever expected that as modern technology develops, it wouldn't be farmers losing their jobs first, but race car drivers. An industry that seemed safe forever. As the online buzz grew louder, I finally caught the attention of certain people. In Shanghai, the first military district, as one of the top 10 military bases in the country, its greatest strength isn't just its combat force, but its leading military R&D capabilities. Here lies the nation's largest military R&D base, where countless top researchers from across the country gather. Somewhere in this massive district, a gray-haired, imposing old man watched the video, adjusting his reading glasses. The youth are to be feared. Truly impressive. I didn't expect our dragon country to have such a brilliant talent. But his research seems focused on civilian use. That's almost a waste of his gift. The old man, Chen Zhenming, sighed with regret. Immediately, he pressed a button on his desk. Minutes later, a young man with a sharp posture knocked and entered. Teacher, you called for me? Yes, Xiao Ma. Find a way to contact this young man, Shenfei. I want to invite him to work at our base. Chen Zhenming looked at his prized student, Ma Hongyi. As the top leader here at the research base, Chen Zhenming has a lot of students. But among all his students, Ma Hongyi is easily in the top 5 for talent and smarts. That's why Chen Zhenming is always nice to him. But when Ma Hongyi heard what Chen Zhenming said, he started to hesitate a bit. Teacher, I've heard about this Shenfei. Lately, his stories have been blowing up online. But letting him come straight to our research base, isn't that breaking the rules? Everyone we recruit here are all top minds from military academies and leading research institutes. Most of them have been involved in military industry research for at least 5 years. But everything Shenfei works on is for civilian use. If he joins our research base, he probably won't understand much, right? Ma Hongyi spoke up boldly. Normally, if you get an order from Chen Zhenming, you just follow it. No one dares question him at all. Otherwise, you'd definitely get yelled at by Chen Zhenming. Even though he looks pretty kind right now, inside the research base, Chen Zhenming's actually known for his temper. A lot of new researchers have been scolded to tears. But the reason Ma Hongyi dares to speak up is because Chen Zhenming treats him differently than everyone else. Sure enough, Chen Zhenming just smiled when he heard him. He said, I just want Shenfei to give it a try. I'm not saying we're making him an official member of the research base yet. Civilian and military work are on totally different levels. Will he be able to show the same talent in military projects? We'll have to let time tell. Alright, go make contact first. Chen Zhenming waved his hand and said. Hearing this, Ma Hongyi finally nodded obediently, then turned around and headed for the door. Just as his hand touched the door handle, Chen Zhenming suddenly spoke up again. Oh, has Qining finished her experiment yet? Hearing the name Qining, deep in Ma Hongyi's eyes, a flash of admiration appeared. He quickly nodded right after, and replied, yes. Teacher, Professor Qin is already done. She finished the research on the TZ-type super hard alloy material. Even though this experiment took her about 2 years, on and off, her breakthrough on this project will bring our tanks a historic upgrade. With this super hard alloy, our tanks are going to jump 2 levels in performance. Not just Professor Qin, she's a real genius. Ma Hongyi was open with his admiration. From the way he spoke, it was like, compared to Qinning, Shenfei didn't really matter. When Chen Jinming heard that, he nodded. And even his stern face showed a rare smile. Qinning really is gifted. Back then, she only studied under me for 2.5 years. And already became a mentor at our research base. Xiaoma, you all need to work hard too. Yes, teacher, we'll definitely live up to your expectations. Alright, good. Go contact Shenfei first. After that, let everyone know to meet in Hall 1. Have Qinning come too. Okay, teacher. I'll arrange it right now. Just hearing he was about to see Qinning, Ma Hongyi got totally excited. Right after that, he picked up his pace and left Chen Jinming's office. After Ma Hongyi left, Chen Jinming turned his attention back to his phone. Looking at the screen, at the vehicle I built, that fully automatic self-driving, racing new energy vehicle. He couldn't help but mumble. I wonder if that's just preset programming, or an intelligent road recognition system. If it's the second one, maybe we could use it for military operations. That could really boost special ops efficiency. But with today's tech, it's still really hard to mass-produce that kind of system. Shenfei must have worked on it for ages to come up with something like this. Meanwhile, I still had no clue. I'd already caught Chen Jinming's attention as a real military industry big shot. After sending some key tech data about this new energy car to Lei Boss, I left the workshop, planning to take a few days off. In my previous life's memory, besides owning a workshop, I think I also had an apartment downtown. So I decided to go stay in the city for a couple days. Even though the workshop has rooms to rest in, to me, work and life should stay separate. Plus, I hardly ever see anyone around here. If this keeps going, I'm pretty sure my social skills will just fade away. I walked out the workshop doors, feeling the warm afternoon sun, and stretched comfortably. As for the workshop, my plan is to wait a couple days before taking new orders. Or just pick up orders I think are right. Now that I've unlocked the top level of the system's third military stage, after making that, of course I want a bigger challenge now. So that's my plan for now. Time to head downtown. I took a deep breath, then hopped in my old used Jetta, and slowly headed toward the city. Meanwhile, on the other side, 1st Military District of Modu City, in the research bases area, Chen Jinming was pacing toward the main conference hall. Before he got there, Chen Jinming heard a bunch of wailing voices inside. The sounds were coming out the door. Sissing, stop hitting me. I give up, okay? Professor Qin, you're a mentor now. Don't bully us like this. If you hit me again, I'm gonna break. Hearing all that, Chen Jinming's face froze for a second. Then he couldn't help but shake his head and laugh. This girl, he thought, and sped up a little. When he reached the conference room doors, he just happened to see a beautiful figure kick someone flying with her foot. Her long legs and loose pants looked sexy and full of power. Looking closer, besides the one Qinning kicked, 4 or 5 others were also on the floor, unable to even get up. Qinning really roughed them up. She hadn't noticed Chen Jinming behind her yet. She glanced at the folks lying on the floor, clapped her hands, crossed her arms and said, "Hey, you guys are way too weak. I told you all, besides doing research, you need to exercise too. Start working out and get strong. How come after 2 years, you're still this weak?" The sound of the piano rang out bright and clear, echoing throughout the huge conference room. Not just the ones lying on the floor looked like they wanted to cry. Even the crowd standing around watching couldn't help but twitch at the corners of their eyes. Why didn't you train? We run 20 kilometers in the mountains every day. Not a single day missed in 2 years. But fighting you. Do you really think we could win? Even the special ops avoid you when they see you. So what can we do? Forget it, Kill us or whatever you want. We choose to die standing. The group complained, faces full of frustration. Qinning looked at them, a little surprised. Then, he cracked his knuckles and started moving closer. Such guts. Just these few words. Sound like real men. Let me help you out. While speaking, Qinning lifted her long legs, over a meter tall, and raised them up. But right then, Chen Jinming finally couldn't take it anymore and laughed. Okay, Qinning. Stop tormenting your junior brothers. Chen Jinming said as he walked into the room with his hands behind his back. Everyone inside saw him come in, and immediately looked at him like he was their lifesaver. Wiping their tears, they gathered around. Mr. Chen, you have to help us. Qinning can't bully us like this. We're the nation's top military engineers. But she forces us to exercise. Isn't this torture? When I heard she was coming back yesterday, I even had nightmares. I was making progress on the triphase lab research. but got scared and lost my train of thought. Haha, Mr. Chen, help us. Help us. They rushed to Chen Jinmin's side, crying and sniffling. Totally not looking like top military talent. Okay, Qining. She's just looking out for you guys. Without a strong body, science work can't last long. Everyone, go sit down. There's something important to discuss today. At the end, Chen Jinmin's tone grew more serious. The dozens of people present heard him, and their faces changed instantly. They wiped away their smiles. One by one went back to their seats. Only Qining stayed calm, and casually pulled up a chair. Chen Jinmin glanced at Qining, and said nothing more. He walked over to the conference room screen, and uploaded a video to the system. Then he turned to the group, said, "Let's watch this video first." As his voice finished, everyone in the conference room turned their eyes to it. They saw a car on the screen, driving without anyone controlling it. Fully autonomous driving, doing all kinds of extreme racing maneuvers, leaving the supercars far behind. Even the top engineers present couldn't help but look amazed. Qining, sitting nearby, watched intently. She squinted her pretty eyes. When the video ended, he fell deep into thought. At that moment, Chen Jinming slowly walked to the front. He glanced at everyone in the audience. Then, with authority in his voice, he spoke. What happened in this video was just a few hours ago. This is a recording from one of our country's top tech companies. During their launch event. I think some of you might have already heard about someone named Shenfei, but I bet some haven't. Now, let's share your thoughts. What are your impressions from the video? As Chen Jinming finished, dozens of top talents from the military industry glanced at each other. Soon, they started discussing it. Qining, sitting front row, narrowed her eyes again. No one knew what she was thinking. In the conference room, after a short discussion, someone finally stood up to address Chen Jinming, saying, "Mr. Chen, I think the full AI self-driving system in the video is pretty impressive, but not that impressive. The visuals are striking, but its usefulness is limited. From a civilian perspective, this technology does make driving more enjoyable. But street racing is not allowed by law. If Dami Group wants to launch this car and put it on the market, the street racing feature will never pass inspection. Technically, though, personally, I admire this Shenfei. He seems to have a natural gift for smart technology. Hongyi just mentioned to me that you were considering recruiting Shenfei to train in our military research base. I think, after he learns some military tech skills, maybe he could really help develop our smart military systems. For real." A young man wearing silver-rimmed glasses spoke confidently. After his words, many people in the room nodded in agreement. Chen Jinming looked at the young man and suddenly asked, "Su Ting, what about for military use?" Military use? Su Ting was stunned for a second. Then he met Chen Jinming's gaze and couldn't help but chuckle. "Mr. Chen, please don't quiz me. I actually have thought about that. Right now, in my opinion, this tech can't be applied to military industry yet. During combat, if you had auto-driving features, it would free up manpower. But even the smartest tech is still just a pile of hardware. It can't keep up with how fast things change on the battlefield and always make the right call. For example, these AI-driven cars just analyze the current road situation. Like what we just saw in the video. It speeds through corners, always choosing the best, most efficient route. That's how AI systems work. And it's their basic, most important logic. But on the battlefield, the shortest route isn't always best, or even safe. If you really use this AI system in the military, it could lead to big mistakes." Su Ting's voice kept going, echoing through the room. More people agreed with him this time. A lot of the female researchers started looking at the handsome Su Ting with admiration. But just then, an out-of-place voice cut through the conference. "Su Ting, is it really that hard to admit Shenfei is great? All you guys act so superior, looking down on his work. If it were up to you, could you build a smart driving system like that? Seriously?" The sarcastic comment hit them like a slap in the face. But when they turned to see who spoke, they instantly shrunk back. "Sister Ing, I didn't mean to disrespect Shenfei. I was just stating the facts. As for smart driving systems, I haven't really looked into them. No idea if I could make one." Su Ting tried to stand his ground. Qining just rolled her eyes at that. Then she looked at Chen Jinming and said, "Mr. Chen, look how fake everyone's being. Military research is more advanced than the commercial kind in some ways. But something that surprised even a genius like Ray Bus somehow turns into just stating facts here. There's no basic respect for tech anymore. If you ask me, Mr. Chen, you shouldn't even bother gathering all these people in one room. If you stuck everyone alone in tiny labs and told them to focus, they wouldn't act so full of themselves. Qining spoke bluntly. Su Ting, Ma Hongyi, and others looked uncomfortable. If it weren't for Qin Ying's special forces level fighting skills, they would have argued back. But right now, all they could do was look down and act like they hadn't heard. Or they'd sneak glances at Chen Zhenming, hoping he'd back them up. But soon, even that hope faded. Qining might have been harsh, but she had a point. This smart driving system Shenfei created really is ahead of its time. That kid's got a lot of potential. I'm looking forward to having him here. Xiaoma, any progress in contacting him? As he finished speaking, Chen Zhenming turned to look at Ma Hongyi not far away. Upon hearing that, Ma Hongyi paused for a moment, then checked his phone. He seemed a bit helpless, and said, Professor, I got Shenfei's contact from the Tigus Hark streaming platform. I called him twice with the official admissions office number, but both calls were declined. Then I texted him, but I haven't heard back yet. Chen Zhenming waved it off, saying to leave it for now. Qining nearby couldn't help but sneer at Ma Hongyi again. She could tell he was stirring things up. Qining caught on right away. All right, let's wait for Shenfei's reply. I believe if he's into research, he'll take this chance. Now let's move to the main meeting topic. Then Chen Zhenming said calmly. Everyone in the room straightened up after hearing that, and sat up attentively, ready for the meeting. So it turns out all of this wasn't the real point of the meeting. Under everyone's watchful eyes, Chen Zhenming picked up the chalk and wrote a line in large letters on the board. Key breakthroughs for modern strategic aircraft. While Chen Zhenming, along with Qining and the nation's top military talent, began their strategic aircraft discussion inside the Shunsong building in Shanghai. The CEO of the country's top courier service was also worrying about aircraft. Mr. Wang, should we keep doing R&D? The last 6 tests all failed. If we keep going, who knows how much more we'll sink into this? Beside Wang Wei, a middle-aged assistant said with a long face. Since early last year, to make deliveries even faster, Shunsong launched a drone delivery project. They specifically recruited a large group of professional researchers for this. They invested over $1 billion in total. But who would have thought? They had talked a big game, promoting to the public that they'd build a drone with long range, heavy payload capacity, and excellent stability, greatly improving delivery efficiency. Fly nationwide, delivered the same day. The ads sounded incredibly impressive, but the results were disappointing. All 6 research attempts failed. Either the range was too short, or the payload was mediocre. Even if it met those two, the stability was terrible. In short, over the past year, Shunsong had burned a fortune and crashed countless test planes. The current situation was, Shunsong and Wang Wei were stuck. Pop your head out and you're sniped. Stay hidden and you die in the poison zone. Lao Liang, I know what you're worried about. But if we don't keep going, isn't all that money just wasted? Besides, I'm a man of my word. I already bragged about it. If it ends in silence now, what will people think of Shunsong? What will they think of me? After a moment of silence, Wang Wei gritted his teeth and spoke, showing he'd spend whatever it takes to back up his words. Hearing this, the middle-aged assistant couldn't help but tremble in his boots. Mr. Wang, please think twice. Shunsong has been profitable lately, but we can't keep this up, Lao Liang. Wait, you. Stop talking for a second. Before the assistant could finish, Wang Wei cut him off with a gesture. The assistant was stunned and looked at Wang Wei in confusion. Wang Wei was staring straight ahead, his dazed eyes suddenly lighting up. The assistant followed Wang Wei's gaze. Then, his throat tightened as he swallowed hard. The screen ahead was frozen on a frame. The main character in the frame was Laybus next to a car. And Mr. Wang, you're not thinking of? That's right, Lao Liang. If Shenfei can build an epic-making new energy car, then building a drone that fits our needs shouldn't be a problem at all. Ugh, my brain. Why am I just realizing this? As soon as I heard about the Dami Group car launch at Beishan Plaza, I should have known. Wang Wei exclaimed, slapping his thigh hard. Then he opened the laptop on his desk and started placing an order. The assistant saw this, hesitated for a moment, then blurted out, Mr. Wang, Shenfei's reputation isn't exactly great. Wang Wei heard this and paused for a second. Then, while placing the order, he couldn't help but laugh. Lao Liang, you mean his reputation as a shady dealer? Ha ha ha. If he can really build the drone for me. I don't care if it doesn't even come with fuel. It's just a tank of gas. Barely costs anything. As he spoke, Wang Wei finished the order. He leaned back into his office chair and let out a heavy sigh, looking like a weight had been lifted. The middle-aged assistant, still frowning deeply, said, "Mr. Wang, I'm not worried about that. What I mean is, Shenfei is just too young. Based on that recording from Beishan Plaza, everyone is guessing that Shenfei is only about 20 years old. So young, building an EV like that, is already impressive enough to earn everyone's respect. But everyone has their limits. How can a 20-year-old kid possibly master EV technology and drone manufacturing at the same time? Besides, the drone we want, its specs, have never been seen on the market before. It's not an exaggeration to say it's unique in the world. Can Shenfei really do it?" The assistant laid out all his concerns one by one. Wang Wei was silent for a few seconds. Then, he looked out at the blue sky and white clouds. "Lao Liang, I know it's hard. Otherwise, we wouldn't have failed so much. But do you have a better idea?" After Wang Wei spoke, it was the assistant's turn to be speechless. A moment later, the assistant calmed down. "Mr. Wang, maybe you're right. But will Shenfei even take our order? The number of people trying to order online must be through the roof by now." Hearing this, Wang Wei waved his hand confidently. "Don't worry, I just checked. In Shenfei's shop right now, the highest order amount is only 20 million. I offered Shenfei 1.2 billion. Didn't you say he's greedy? Then he'll definitely take my order," Wang Wei said with total confidence. The assistant heard this and nodded reflexively. "I see. That's good. Wait. And Mr. Wang, how much? 1.2 billion? Are you sure you didn't add an extra zero? Typing 120 million instead of 12 million? Once he realized, the assistant completely lost his cool. "You have to understand. They were just making small drones, not large passenger jets. R&D costs are high, but production shouldn't exceed tens of millions. 1.2 billion? That could build a medium-sized airliner." And he'd heard Shenfei only sells products, not the patent rights. No matter how the assistant looked at it, this deal felt like a massive loss. "Alright, Lao Liang. Don't overthink it. Money is meant to be spent. If Shenfei can build the drone for us, it's worth it. Even if one drone isn't enough for our entire transport system, as long as he succeeds, we can just buy a few more from him. Any problem money can solve isn't a problem at all," Wang Wei said with a wealthy swagger. The assistant could only nod as his eyes twitched. But he really felt it was necessary to find out where he lived. Better yet, send a few people to watch him. Or he feared he'd run off with the cash. After all, rumors call him a shady dealer. Who knows if he'll just retire and vanish? The assistant felt that 1.2 billion was quite the temptation. On the Tiger Shark streaming platform, since the Dammy car launch ended, the promotional live stream for my manufacturing shop had never left the #1 spot. On the homepage, countless fans are flocking in, all wanting to see my stream's orders, to see how insane they've become. And as Wang Wei's order emerged like a dark horse, taking the top spot for the highest amount, the millions of fans in my stream were all completely stunned. Holy crap, am I seeing this right? 1.2 billion. Shunsong Group gave Fei a 1.2 billion order. CEO Wang is playing for keeps. That's 1.2 billion in cold hard cash. Not 1.2 billion game credits. Ugh, don't even say it. I haven't even seen that many game credits. Suddenly, CEO Lei seems a bit stingy. Look at CEO Wang, dropping 9 figures just like that. Man, I never would have thought that 100,000 yuan computer was my only chance to own a Fei-made product. Ha ha ha. I heard the computer Fei built for his son is so high-end he's afraid to play games on it. He's literally got it on display now. So jealous of his son. So jealous of Dai Xiaomei. I'm kicking myself for missing out. Anyway, for 1.2 billion, what is Fei actually building? Why is this order still marked as confidential? Maybe he's building an Ultraman. Bullshit. It's definitely an armor hero. The viewers were debating wildly, their curiosity eventually boiling over, all wanting to know exactly what Wang Wei ordered me to build. And it didn't take long before some tech-savvy netizens uncovered a few clues. I've got it. Drones. CEO Wang's order must be for drones. D-drones? Is it the kind of drone I'm thinking of? What drone could be worth 1.2 billion? Man, you're out of the loop. Shunsong has been hyping their own drones for express delivery for a long time. Supposedly, they can carry a ton and fly all over the country. But there's been no progress lately. They probably couldn't build it. So I'm guessing CEO Wang ran out of options. And came to Faye with the order. Man, CEO Wang is confused. Exactly. Even the best drone isn't worth over $1 billion. Whatever, it's not our money. If Faye actually pulls it off, I'll only use Shunsong for my packages. True. I can't afford Faye's computers or bikes. But I can at least use his drones. After guessing it was a drone order, the millions of viewers went absolutely wild. What's even crazier is that after this news spread, in less than half an hour, Shunsong's stock price actually shot up. At Shunsong Group headquarters, in the top floor chairman's office, the assistant named Liang was totally stunned. It took him a good 10 seconds to finally snap out of it. He then couldn't help but shake his head, looking at Wang Wei with a wry smile. CEO Wang. I really underestimated his influence. After the Dami Group car launch became such a massive success, his fame is truly unparalleled right now. At this rate of growth, I bet before long, the 1.2 billion you spent will be paid back. Liang couldn't help but click his tongue. But when Wang Wei heard this, his face, staring at the screen, showed a hint of genuine worry. Old Liang, why hasn't Shenfei accepted the order yet? Is my offer still not high enough? With Shunsong's stock rising, Wang Wei was naturally excited, but he knew very well that all of this was because of me. If I didn't accept the order, it would be a total disaster. The stock gains would definitely crash back down, and probably drop even further. Because if I didn't take the deal, the internet would go crazy with rumors, and their drone delivery project would be seen as completely dead. CEO Wang, it's probably not a matter of money. Your offer is already very high. Maybe Mr. Shenfei is just busy with something. At the moment, faced with Wang Wei's concerns, the assistant could only try to comfort him. Just as he finished speaking, Wang Wei suddenly bolted upright from his chair. The sudden move gave the assistant a real fright. Seeing the usually steady Wang Wei so excited, the assistant said eagerly, CEO Wang, did Mr. Shenfei accept the order? Hearing the assistant's question, Wang Wei had a look of pure disbelief. He pointed at the computer screen and said with some frustration, now I know why he didn't accept it right away. In my rush just now, I opened the order details to recheck. It's wrong. The drone specs I gave him are all wrong. For the range and the cargo weight, I added an extra 0 to both. It happened when I was ordering. You were talking to me and I got distracted. No wonder he wouldn't accept it. A range of 10,000 kilometers. And a 10-ton cargo capacity. How could anyone build a drone like that? Let me see how to cancel this order, so I can send him a new one. Wang Wei spoke with a wry smile, moving his mouse around, trying to find the cancel button. But right then, on the Hush Alive backend, a notification suddenly popped up. Ding. Friendly reminder. Your shop order on the Husha platform has been accepted by the owner. The order status is now accepted. Looking at the message, the expression on Wang Wei's face instantly froze. Then, he rubbed his eyes hard. After confirming he wasn't dreaming, a voice filled with absolute shock burst from his throat. Old Liang, look at this. Am I seeing things? A drone order with such insane specs. Shenfei actually accepted it. He actually took it. On a balcony in downtown Shanghai, I was lying on a lounge chair, enjoying the warm afternoon sun. Taking another look at the order I just took, I couldn't help but mutter to myself. Seems CEO Wang knows his stuff. This is more like it. A challenging order. With plenty of money. That's real motivation to build. Standing up from the chair, I gave a long, comfortable stretch, planning to head back to the shop immediately to handle the order from Wang Wei. After earning 10 million points, the system unlocked Stage 3, Top Tier, Military Manufacturing. Before I had these top-tier military skills, completing this drone order for Wang Wei would have been nearly impossible for me. But now, I think I can handle the challenge. And it wasn't just the difficulty of the order that interested me. The price was also very satisfying. While the system unlocked Stage 3, the points needed for Stage 4 had also been posted. 1 billion. A full 1 billion points. I had made some bold guesses before, but I never imagined the next stage would require so many points. However, the title, Conceptual Military Manufacturing, made it feel somewhat worth it. Though I didn't know exactly what that entailed. Just the name alone oozed high-end sophistication. It's likely worth every bit of that billion. Oh right, and this? Setting aside the drone order for a moment, I pulled out my phone again and looked at the 2 missed calls and the text message. These were naturally from the research base. From Ma Hongyi. I didn't answer the calls, and though I read the text, I had no intention of replying. Mostly because I didn't know what to say. Forget it, I'll ignore it for now. Anyway, I'm not really interested in joining some military research base. I mumbled to myself, dragging the text and the call logs straight into the trash. It's not that I don't want to serve the country. It's just that I simply can't go there. First, system upgrades need more points, which means I need to make a lot of money. Once I'm inside a research base, making money won't be so easy anymore. I might not even make any at all. If that happens, how am I supposed to upgrade the system? And there's another important reason. Life inside the military research base definitely wouldn't be as free as I am now. Sometimes, they might have me work on projects I'm not interested in, or things that aren't even very challenging. All of that has pretty much closed the door for me to join the research base. As I started heading back to my suburban workshop, I was processing Shunsong Group's drone orders at the same time. Meanwhile, over at Shunsong headquarters, in the chairman's office, Wang Wei and assistant Liang Shuzhong stared at each other for a long time. It took a while for them to snap out of their shock. But deep in their eyes, you could still see the shock lingering. Boss Wang, how about you slap me for a second? Why does this all feel so unreal? We're already struggling to build a drone with a 1,000 kilometers range and 1-ton cargo capacity. But Shenfei just took an order for a drone with a 10,000 kilometers range and carries 10 tons. I'm not dreaming, am I? Liang Shuzhong couldn't help but swallow hard. He gulped and said, the reason he became Wang Wei's assistant is because he was handpicked by the board. The main reason was that Wang Wei spends money too freely. The board was worried he'd blow too much cash, so they assigned Liang Shuzhong, a super stingy, middle-aged assistant, to watch him. But this time, even with Wang Wei going all out with 1.2 billion yuan, Liang Shuzhong still felt it was worth it. So worth it. If we can actually build a drone like that, then Shunsong wouldn't just be the top courier company in China. Even worldwide, nobody could compete with us. Morning delivery arrives the same afternoon. Who can beat that? Old Liang, do you think maybe we've been too cautious placing the order? Shenfei's not even human. He's a total freak. Just a research maniac. Wang Wei looked at Liang Shuzhong's exaggerated face. But honestly, he wasn't much better himself. Ever since he started from scratch and built this courier empire, barely anyone could impress Wang Wei. But after hearing Shenfei's name, his mind was blown again and again. For the first time, Wang Wei felt that besides making money, there are people and things that are just so fascinating. Boss Wang, don't you feel like maybe you should go study? Maybe even get a master's or PhD? Honestly, I feel that too. My elders always said knowledge is power. Like, everything else comes second. Studying is number one. Before, I always thought those sayings didn't fit modern times. But Shenfei, he really proved to me how powerful and attractive knowledge can be. Liang Shuzhong said that from the heart, his face full of hope. Alright, old Liang, let's not get all emotional here. There are thousands of researchers out there, but only Shenfei has this kind of skill and vision. He's one of a kind. Honestly, in this country, we need someone like him, a researcher who really shines. He'll be like a beam of light, showing the way for so many lost young people. And I know there's something else you didn't say. Compared to someone like Shenfei, even billionaires like us and Leibu seem ordinary, right? It's kind of humbling, isn't it? In the end, Wang Wei joked with a laugh. Right now, Wang Wei was honestly feeling super relaxed and can't wait for his drone to be ready. He's really looking forward to it. And when Liang Shuzhong heard him, of course he didn't dare say a word. After hesitating for 2 seconds, he suddenly changed the topic and asked, by the way, Boss Wang, did you set a deadline for Shenfei's order? Should we make an early announcement? Make a formal statement in advance? The netizens online already guessed it. They know we ordered a drone from Shenfei, so I don't think it's necessary to keep it a secret. Besides, Leibu already set the example for us. He announced 3 days in advance. Beishan Plaza, one public release for Dami Auto, made a huge splash. Gotta say, when it comes to marketing, we really could learn something from Leibu. After hearing that, Wang Wei started thinking. A moment later, he turned to Liang and said, good call, you reminded me. Of course we need to announce it. I didn't give Shenfei a fixed deadline. But, judging by how fast he's worked before, I'd say 1 week max. Shenfei should be able to deliver. So let's set it at 1 week. A week from now, we'll hold the drone launch event at Shenzhen Haihu Park. We'll see this time if Dami Auto or our drone launch event gets more attention, ours or theirs. In the end, even Wang Wei, who's seen it all in business, couldn't help but get hyped up. And of course, Liang Shuzhong was even more excited. Yes, Boss Wang. I'll go get it arranged right now. He nodded hard and quickly headed out of the office. Liang Shuzhong moved fast. Right after he finished talking with Wang Wei, in less than 10 minutes, their announcement was already posted on Shunsong's official site and all their main social media accounts. The announcement said that in 7 days, at Shenzhen Haihu Park, Shunsong Group will hold a drone delivery launch event. Stay tuned. It was short and sweet, but it hit like a rock. Dropped in a calm lake, and instantly created huge waves. Knew it. It's gotta be a drone. Boss Wang got Faye to build a drone, no question. I'm swamped. Totally buried in work. Dami Otto's last event. I even took time off just to watch it. Guess I'll have to take another day off. If this keeps up, my boss is gonna fire me for sure. Ha ha ha. Bro, just go ahead and watch it. Watch it work openly, who cares? I bet even your boss will be watching. He won't even have time to notice you. Dude, you know how to talk. Next time, say it sooner, huh? Now I'm chasing launch events. So this is how girls feel watching variety shows. Feels so freaking good. On Shunsong's official page, the comments shot past 10,000 in just a few minutes. Everyone is hyped for Shunsong's drone event in 7 days. They can't wait. Meanwhile, on the other side, inside the #1 military district research base, Chen Jinming and Qin Ying's seminar was silent as ever. Old Chen, it's impossible. Really, it can't be done. A strategic aircraft only really needs 2 things. One is strategic bombing. The other is supply drops. Let's talk about bombing first. To get our pilot and the plane back safely, we have to focus on the outer armor. But even Ying's newly researched T-shaped, super hard mixed metal alloy still can't guarantee it can take a guided missile hit without failing. On land, a couple missiles might not destroy a tank. But the air is different. Even a small malfunction could be fatal. As for supply drops, even though they're to our own base, and much less risky, they still can't be 100% safe. So I think this project is just not possible. There's no way to do it. In the quiet meeting room, Ma Hongyi was the first to stand up and say that. Chen Jinming waved his hand, telling Ma Hongyi to sit down. Then he looked around the room at 40 or 50 top military engineers and said in a deep voice, "No ideas? Really none at all? Not even a suggestion or rough idea? Honestly, even a rough concept would be nice." Chen Jinming's voice echoed in the meeting room, but everyone just got more quiet. Only Qining frowned a bit, like she wanted to say something, but finally shook her head and held back her words. Inside the suburban manufacturing shop, I double-checked the order specs Wang Wei gave me and carefully reviewed them again. Then I opened up the Super Lab. After the system upgraded to Phase 3, the Super Lab's functions also got a huge boost. The first thing is the time ratio. It's now up to 51. Sure, the increase wasn't as big as from Phase 1 to 2, but this time ratio, in my opinion, is already pretty wild. Spending 50 days in the Super Lab only equals 1 day in the real world. And thanks to having the Super Lab with this insane ability, I dared to take Wang Wei's order. Even if I fail, I don't need to worry about time. Next, the equipment lineup in the Super Lab and the materials library have all been upgraded to military grade. Inside the Super Lab, not only can I use all kinds of top-tier military manufacturing equipment for free, but I can also pay to buy any military-grade material on the market. Some material prices though, just one look and my wallet hurts. The zeros at the end, I don't even want to count them. When I told Lei Busi that I'm broke lately, I wasn't kidding. While filling the order, the system said the more money I save, the more points I get. But who knows, if I want to make something myself one day, I'll definitely want the best stuff then. And honestly, I don't have that kind of money. Even a slightly bigger project could send me bankrupt again. Oh, Mr. Wang? Everyone's calling me Scammer Investment out there. Scammer Investment likes on my shop page are almost at 30 million now. No joke. This time I really didn't plan to rip you off. I wanted to build you a drone for real and shake off the Scammer Investment label. But man, now I feel so broke. You gotta understand. I mumbled to myself. Then I opened the Super Lab's material library. I spent most of the day picking and choosing materials until I finally gathered everything for the drone. Compared to last time, I did take way longer picking materials now. But honestly, I had no choice. Those military materials are way too expensive. I kept looking to see if I could swap in something else. Luckily, hard work pays off. I was looking at a potential $1 million material bill, but I squeezed it down to under 2 million. Adding everything up, I paid the system 1.8 million. If Wang Wei found out that number, he'd probably lose it right there. Bro, I paid you 1.2 billion. That's 1.2 billion. And you only spent 1.8 million in the end. Though Wang Wei doesn't know yet how much I actually spent. He'll probably find out pretty soon. Because before I went into the super lab, I glanced at the system. And it's still working on that phase financial report. I bet it'll just post the results directly. And won't even let me see them first. No way for me to tweak anything either. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but mutter, ugh. Once I finish this job, I might really need to hire some bodyguards. Or maybe upgrade the shop. And add some defense systems. Otherwise, I just feel uneasy. After picking out all the materials, I ran through the manufacturing steps in my head. One more time. If this were just a regular drone, I wouldn't even need a whole day. And I could make a dozen of them. But to build a drone with 10,000 kilometers range, and a 10-ton payload, and still make it super stable. No joke. This challenge is even tougher than making that EV for Le Bussy. Seriously. Because for the EV, most stuff wasn't a challenge. The hardest part was just the autopilot system. But for this drone Wang Wei ordered, all three key requirements are at odds. Long range means it's hard to carry more weight, big payload, and it's hard to keep it stable. If you want top stability, then range and payload both get limited. Balancing all three things is incredibly hard. It's like asking an engineer to make an insanely precise part with 1 micron tolerances. Missing by 0.5 millimeters is a no-go. The problem I'm facing now is way tougher than making any single part like that. I have to take the three problems one by one. So, let's start with the easiest, range. I took a deep breath and started sketching things out in my head. As I did, the equipment I'd need for the process appeared in front of me from the super lab. Even though I said, range is the easiest to tackle. That's just compared to the other two issues. In Wang Wei's drone specs, its body length is about 10 meters. And honestly, that is about as long as a drone can get. It's not that it can't go longer. But this is the sweet spot for drones. If it's any longer, it loses a lot of flexibility. A regular passenger jet is about 30 meters long. And its range taps out around 12 or 13,000 kilometers. Which means, I need to get that range with just a third of the size of a passenger jet. That's really hard, as you can imagine. But right then, I suddenly thought of something. Eyes lighting up, I couldn't help but mutter out loud. The biggest hurdle for range is shrinking the fuel tank. A big tank takes up space for cargo and hurts stability. Right now, all planes use jet fuel, and the tank size is linked to the range. But isn't it really more about the fuel itself? If it's tough to shrink the tank, how about improving the fuel? Yeah, that's the idea. That might be the best solution. By the time I finished mumbling, my eyes were shining even brighter. Without hesitation, I got to work and put all my focus on solving the fuel problem. Meanwhile, over on the other side, at the top army research base in Magic City, Chen Jinmin gave Su Ting's team about half an hour to really brainstorm how to tackle the strategic aircraft safety issue. But a half hour later, they were all staring at each other with blank minds. Not a single idea. And about this meeting, we've got to start from 3 days ago. 3 days ago, Longhua and Ma Xiangguo held a secret modern air combat drill. Since fighter jets appeared, air superiority has become the key to winning a war. So, every country takes their air combat ability seriously. In recent years, Longhua has spared no effort, investing tons of money and energy into the Air Force. They really went all out. But, in that air combat exercise with Ma Xiangguo 3 days ago, the top brass in Longhua's military got a harsh reality check. It's not that Longhua was crushed by Ma Xiangguo in the air. Actually, in this exercise, Longhua came out on top. But the win was brutal. Throughout the drill, Longhua sent out 100 fighter jets. That included 20 JH-7 bombers, 25 J-10s, 10 Su-27 or J-11s, including the J-11B model, 8 Su-30 MKs, 7 Su-35s, 10 J-15s, and 8 J-16s including the J-16D, plus 12 J-20s. That's basically a whole air regiment. All their strategic fighters. But on Ma Xiangguo's side, only 10 jets showed up. Just when Longhua's officers thought Ma Xiangguo was just joking around, they got taught a lesson instead. 100 jets easily wiped out all 10 of Ma Xiangguo's planes, even taking out their command base. They got the entire base. But that also meant all 100 of Longhua's jets were exposed to the enemy. Ma Xiangguo fought fire with fire, and right in front of Lin's father, launched all their anti-air guns and missiles. They traded one base to take out 98 of Longgua's jets, almost a whole air regiment. Only 2 of them made it back safely. If you just look at this drill, Longhua won. But in real war, victory isn't decided in one battle. Losing almost 100 jets just to destroy an enemy base would be a disaster in a real conflict. That's a huge loss. So after this drill, all the military leaders in Longhua held an emergency meeting. The root cause of such heavy losses. And finally, after 8 hours of intense discussion, they finally came up with an answer. The strategic jet's defenses are just too weak. Once you go deep into enemy lines, it's hard to avoid the whole hurting yourself while hurting the enemy thing. You take out 1,000, but lose 800 of your own. More importantly, it's not just about losing a single jet. The real problem is losing pilots. Each and every pilot is handpicked, trained with so much effort. Losing even one hurts, let alone a whole squad, let alone the entire team. That's why the higher-ups urgently ordered Chen Zhenmin to lead all the top researchers at the base, and, within just 1 week, come up with a way to keep their pilots safe. And today is already the 2nd day since Chen got the order. Mr. Chen, I think we aren't the only ones facing this problem. Every country has to deal with this situation. So don't worry too much. Honestly, I think it's impossible to solve the defense problem for strategic jets in such a short time. Even if the higher-ups punish us all, it'll still be tough to fix. Seeing the mood in the meeting room get heavy, Mahanjiai stood up and spoke. Of course, as soon as he said that, the whole vibe changed. Chen Zhenmin got so mad. Even his mustache bristled. I don't need you telling me this. Leave it to time, huh? Leave it to time? Every time we run into tough problems, is that how you all try to deal with it? Okay, so if time could solve it, what do we need you for? If everyone figures it out in the end, what's left for Longhua then? Our edge is, we need to be the first to solve the problem before everyone else. So, 2 days. I'm giving you 2 days. If you can't even come up with a basic idea, maybe it's time I take Qin Ying's suggestion and lock you all in a dark room until you focus on your research. After Chen Zhenmin said that, he slammed the table hard, then stormed out with a stiff face. Everyone left in the room, Su Ting, Mahanjiai and the others, just stared at each other, big eyes looking at little eyes. After a moment, Mahanjiai couldn't help glancing at Qin Ying and put on a fawning smile. Sister Ying, Mr. Qin, you always have the best ideas. Can you give us some advice? I don't think Mr. Chen is joking this time. As soon as Mahanjiai said that, everyone else turned and looked at Qin Ying, who sat up front, all eyes filled with hope. Although most of them here never actually took class with Qin Ying, since she became mentor after joining the base, they've all heard about her skills. She's from that generation of top talents who've become leaders now. She ranks among the best in every military research unit. Qin Ying especially stands out among them. If she didn't prefer the quiet here, other military zones would have poached her already, probably to run their whole research team. Now you finally call her Sister Ying? Weren't you just tattling to Mr. Chen about her a minute ago? And you said she's the mentor? So if Mr. Chen locks everyone up, that's not her problem. Good luck, guys. Qin Ying shot Mahanjiai and the others a cold glance, then got up, stretching her long legs, as everyone else stared at her in shock, and left the meeting room. Mahanjiai and the others stood there, stunned, feeling totally deflated, like their hopes just crashed to rock bottom. Ugh, guess we can't count on her. We can't count on anyone anymore. Let's do our best. We have 2 days to come up with a research proposal for Mr. Chen. Even if it doesn't work, let's try to offer ideas, even if they're off base. I bet Mr. Chen was just mad no one spoke up when he asked today. Su Ting shook her head and sighed. The others just exchanged looks and silently nodded. Time slipped by like sand. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye. While Su Ting and the other top minds worried about the defense issue, I was back in the workshop, at the edge of Moda City, already spending 100 days in my super lab. If not for the whole drone development process being super tight, I honestly lost track of time. I probably would have gone nuts. But hard work really does pay off. After more than 3 months, I finally built the drone Wang Wei asked for, all by myself. A drone with a 10,000-kilometer range and a 10-ton payload. Plus, its stability is next level. Looking at my masterpiece right in front of me, even I this time couldn't help but show a bit of excitement. System is now scoring the host's experiment. System scan complete. In this drone experiment, You scored a perfect 100 in manufacturing. For the drone's fuel tank design. Your understanding and skills broke new limits. You got an S rating. Awarding host intelligence points. Awarding host 10 million system upgrade points. The soft system voices landed one after another. I didn't think much of it at first. But when I heard the last two lines, my body, which was about to leave the lab, just froze on the spot. As for the 10 million upgrade points, I wasn't too impressed. The system always gives so little. Compared to 1 billion points. 10 million feels like begging the system. But those 10 intelligence points really made my throat tense up. And I started to swallow. I could feel my adrenaline spike. If I got this right, those 10 intelligence points mean 10 more IQ. An IQ of 100 is just average. But someone with 110 IQ is already considered excellent. So basically, those 10 intelligence points from the system can instantly take someone from average IQ to top tier intelligence. If I get those 10 IQ points, the results on me might be wild. Because honestly, my talent and intuition for research were already top-notch. People say Einstein had genius-level IQ. Supposedly 160. Before this, I didn't know if I could match Einstein. But with these 10 intelligence points, I seriously think even if Einstein came back, I could go head-to-head with him in pure IQ. Looks like the system still has tons of features I haven't even unlocked yet. Anyway, just the ability to boost intelligence is honestly scary. I took a deep breath and forced myself to calm down. Then I looked at my creation one more time and took it out of the super lab.